justice system. The people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders.
That's assault, man. That's assault, man. Break that up, man. Pop that here, man. That's assault, man. That's assault, man. Break that up, man. Break that up, pop that chair here. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault, man. That's assault, man. You cannot touch me like that. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Break that up, man. Man. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. That's assault. We have video of her just touching. Out of that chair. I will. Excuse me. Ma'am. Excuse me. Break that up. That's assault. Excuse that chair. Ma'am. You cannot touch me like that. Break that up. Break that up. Break that. Break that. That's break that up. Break that up. Oh, I will be telling you. Break that up. Break that up. That's assault. Stop that. That's assault. That's assault. Stop that. Break that. That's assault. Stop that chair here. We have video of her just. These people are going to eject you from this line. Out of that chair. I will assault. It is incredibly appropriate. I will. You cannot touch me like that. That's assault. Break that up. Stop that chair here. Ma'am, you cannot touch me like that. It is incredible. That's assault. Break that up. That's assault. Break that up. Stop that chair. Ma'am. Stop that chair. Ma'am. Stop that chair. Ma'am. These people are going to eject you from this line. Break that up. That's break that up. Break that up. That's assault. Break that up. Ma'am. Break that up. Oh, I will. Ma'am. That's assault. That's assault. Oh, I will be telling you exactly what happened. Stop that chair here. That's assault. Break that up. Ma'am, that's assault. Ma'am, break that up. Ma'am, break that up. Stop that chair here. These people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. Ma'am, that's assault. Ma'am, it is. You cannot touch me like that. Oh, I will tell you exactly what happened. Break that up. Break that up. Ma'am, these people are going to eject you from this line. That's assault. That's assault. We have video of her just touching. Out of that chair. I will be. Excuse me. Ma'am.
Oh no, why? Am I being sued? I can't afford it. Tell Betero I don't have any money. I can't be sued right now. Tell him to tell whoever's suing me to get fucked. I didn't do it. And I'm not in the mood to get sued anymore. I'm tired of it. I've been threatened with being sued, but I haven't been sued, and I'm already tired of it. And it hasn't even happened yet. It's just threats. What does Betero want? Is he mad that I said two Beteros in a trench coat? Because I still think it's a good idea. And I will not respect, what do you call it? I will not respect. No, I will not take ownership of my actions. I refuse. I refuse to be responsible. That's the word I'm looking at. I refuse to be responsible for the words I say and the things I do. What does he want? What does he want? Oh, you want him on the show? Does he have a trench coat? If he has a trench coat, he can come on the show. From now on, we're only going to allow people on the show who have trench coats because I think dusters are cool and I trust no one anymore except Betero. He can come on. He can come on. He can come on. Who's suing me, though? He's not suing me. If he's not suing me, he can come on. Tell him, actually, I didn't mean it when I said the two Beteros in a trench coat. That was a joke. Tell him I didn't mean it, and I was just kidding. Unless he liked it, then tell him I meant every word.
Excuse me. That's assault. Stop that chair. You cannot touch me like
that. Whoops. Wrong time to talk. No. He's not two minions. I just think, you know how they tried to slip him in the trial? And what's under the trench coat is a very real question. But you know how they tried to sneak him in the trial, slip him in there real quick? I do think they could have done it if he sat on his own shoulders. So he would have to replicate like the movie Multiplicity. Listen, I'm coming in hot tonight. And by that, I mean, I've been watching a good amount of Michael Keaton movies going back. Michael Keaton gives me strength. He was the best Batman. Fuck you if you don't agree. Fuck you. With all the dicks, he is the best Batman. He's the least threatening, but the most best. And I love Michael Keaton, and I love him and the other guys. You guys know I reference that movie a lot because I love TLC. I love The Rock. I mean, I fucking love Michael Keaton. It's the best movie. You guys know, I have threatened Marky Mark. I've been threatening towards Marky Mark, although I still adore him. I do think it was fucked up what he did to that Vietnamese man. And I bring it up every chance I get because we can't forget. Sure, brother is a new kid on the block. Doesn't change anything. Which bark better? Bark better. By the way, there is a golden coat of pollen on the trash cans outside, on the benches, on the car. I can't breathe. I took two Benadryl, and a Claritin today. I don't know if I should do that anymore. I feel fuzzy inside. Also, Dad's boyfriend got shit on by 2 different birds. 2 birds today. He got shit on in the hair, and then he washed his hair before work, and then he just got shit on again. So that happened. Everybody's getting shit on today. He's the best Beetlejuice as well. Hello, Wendy Baldwin. I just think Crazy Sexy Cool is incredible. Yes, absolutely. What you know about Pollen? Oh, that's right. You're from Georgia. Shit. Satan knows about Pollen. He's from Georgia. That's the worst Pollen I've ever seen in my life, by the way, is when I did a comedy tour. Well, it wasn't a comedy tour. I opened for a progressive metal band on tour once. And it was the one where I told you guys we went to, was it Baton Rouge? We went to a couple places in Louisiana where a couple crazy things happened. Dad almost became a sex offender for peeing outside under a gay flag. And then the cops busted a party and there were goths doing meth there. It was very horrific. But on that same tour, we went to Georgia and we stayed at this Vietnam vet's house whose legs were all blown to shit. And he was on all kinds of meds. And he just never kicked the pollen off because he didn't have legs. And so he was like, yeah, there's pollen on everything outside. I thought he was kidding. And I go outside and it was like this thick. It was so much pollen. It was like half a dick worth of thick pollen. It was just on top of everything. And I mean, the air had it. It was in the air. My hair was yellow. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Georgia's the scariest place. Honestly, Ponce de Leon Street was really scary because I did a gig there and I did one at that, what was it called? The Vortex or something. Saw someone get stabbed at a bus stop. I think I told you about that, Hudson. That was crazy. Who knew years later I'd get stabbed too? That could have been foreshadowing. I don't fucking know. But I'm telling you, dude, that was scary as fuck. And I remember when I was there, I asked to go take a shit in the bathroom. Not a shit. I had to pee, but I go in the bathroom. There's shit all over it. And they had like thick glass and they slipped me a key and it was attached to a big paddle. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? This shit probably came from an Aussie hiding. Oh, shit. Clicks and balls. That is how people get pregnant. A regular dick or a Darlene Severed dick? A Darlene Severed dick's worth, at least. At least. Ponce is such a long road. It was by, it was Midtown, I think, or 5 Points. It was 5 Points. It was the place we did. The venue there was called the Unicorn something. And I ate wings at a place called the Book Room or the Book House or the Book Tree. I don't remember. But I was such a dumb dickhead. I walked in and I said, yes, I'd like some hot wings, please. Because I heard they have the best wings. And I heard that from the internet. The internet said they had the best wings. And the lady said, what kind of hot do you want? And I said, the hottest kind, because I'm in Hotlanta. And I swear to God, the whole room went silent. People looked at me with the angriest face. People were like, that's embarrassing. Don't say that. The table next to me. And I was alone. They let me eat with them. They were very nice. I regret that moment. Because when I ate those wings, I knew diarrhea was coming out later. I knew it was going to happen. Bookhouse, that place. And then the lady laughed at me and was like, it's fine. It's just everyone says Hotlanta. That's not cool around here. And I was like, my bad. And she goes, eat these wings, Shug. And then I did. And then I had diarrhea. It was crazy hot. It was so hot I couldn't taste it. How come every time you have to use a public bathroom, they send you with a baseball bat? That's true. In case you get raped in the way, I don't know. They think that someone's going to come get you on the way to the bathroom. I think they think you're going to steal the key, but also who steals a key to a bathroom for a place that they're not? Dude, they cross-pollinated my ass. They hate Hotlanta. They don't like that. Don't say that when you're there. Do not say Hotlanta ever, ever, ever. How did everyone know? No one knew. The whole band said Hot Lana on stage and people booed them. No one from Atlanta said. I learned that eventually. Yeah, I'm not going to say it anymore. They were really nice to me, though. I left them a big tip, and they were very sweet. And they said, come back whenever you want. Just don't say Hot Lana. I was like, fuck, bitch. Also, they were very fascinated that I was from Texas. They said I didn't seem Texan. And I was like, what does that mean? They never explained. It's like when you say you're a Leo, and they go, oh. And it's like, well, what the fuck does that mean? You know how I feel about that. You get one with a shoehorn? One with a big one? Get what with, the key? Yeah, so they don't lose it, I guess. It's like when people say Cali. I fucking hate that. What do you say? I always go, the West Coast. I like to name rappers that aren't from the West Coast. That really makes them mad. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I don't need more beef. Not Atlanta. Don't say Chi-Town either. You talking about Chirac? You talking? By the way, one of my favorite Reddits, I think I've told you guys about this, subreddits is Chiracology. I don't know if you've ever checked that out. But the gang members of Chicago decided to start their own subreddit. And they did it so that they can explain gangbanging to people. And so that they can explain like what the gang wars are and the turf wars. Because I guess someone requested it a long time ago. They're the nice. I told you guys the nicest Reddit on earth is stripper Reddit. They'll help you solve a crime. They're so sweet. I honestly think maybe the gangs in Chicago, I mean, I get it. It's pretty bad there and there's a lot of bad shit going on, but there's some of the nicest people, the ones on the subreddit. I mean, they taught me about a guy named King something, and a Chief Keef fella, and I listen to rap, but I was like, I've never heard of this. It's a good dad joke name, but a racist dad. Uh-oh. In all seriousness, go check out Chiracology. They're so nice. If you're like, well, why are these people beefing? They'll go, are you white? And if you say yes, then they'll say it different. And they're like, well, then you're not going to understand a lot of this. So let me explain this. And then they explain the slang to me. And then they explain like the root of the beef and why it's not cool and certain cultures. Like, especially they explained to me that O Block is not something to fuck with. I remember one time I said, why does everyone hate Tekashi 6ix9ine, but they like Nicki? And they're like, well, let me explain. And then they explained to me some of the things Tekashi 6ix9ine did. Like when he went to O Block and started ridiculing them. You can't do that. You can't do that. Yeah, the midgets are tinier here. And they're very jumpy. They're very nice. They all do wrestling. I really like them. Surely that's Rico fodder. Not really. It's just a lot of storytelling. Like there was a young lady named Kanika who went missing once. And they had a whole thread trying to help find her. And they were grilling other gang members. Like, you know her brother. You used to run with her brother on River Block or some shit. And, like, people were calling each other out. It was nice. It was like, well, looks like they're doing a little positive 4chanting, like ethical hacking. You received the package and Chubb says hi. Oh, is Chubb's doing good? I'm glad you received it. I saw the picture you sent me. I'm glad you loved it, darling. I hope that you're feeling okay. Y'all's father, I love astrology now. It's my favorite. Although Nanny is teaching me voodoo, I have to cut my toenails. They're not long enough, so I have to do that and burn them for something. So I'm going to be doing that soon. Satan is a Leo. What are you guys? What does it mean? The root of the beef. Beef root. Anyway, I don't love the moon. How dare you? Grounded. Strippers are pretty cool. Just don't leave them with your drugs or spirit shit. Yeah, but also they'll defend you in a fight. They'll fight people for you. It's their moms on the subreddit. They're just doing PR. No, it's them. It's them. Oh, they post pictures too. They'll let you know how many guns they have and stuff. They don't care. They'll send you stacks of money and be like, this is what I made today. Too many brain cells listening to them talk. That's the thing, though. They talk different in the subreddit. They're like, let me explain this to you so that you understand it. And they give me a lot of metaphors, and I love metaphors. Turns out it's very much like The Wire. It really is. And there's corner boys that drop out of school and start really young. It's really sad. It's all their little brothers, and they're like, we're trying to keep them out of it. And I'm like, well, you got to give them a good book. I don't know what to tell you. I love strippers, especially at the Claremont. What is the Claremont? And that's not how you spell it. Clermont? That's different. With a Leo rising. Is that like a boner? What does that mean? Toes. Somebody wants to suck my toes, but he's never seen my toes. I hate my toes, but I like the guy except toes. Leave him now. Burn him. Destroy his body. Violate him. Get him out of here. Anyone who wants to see your toes does not deserve to see your toes. In fact, you don't even deserve to see your toes. We should all cut our feet off. Toes are disgusting, and so are feet. Put your mouth on them. Oh, I'm going to puke.
Break that. Oh, I will be telling you. Break that. That's a song. Flop that. That's a song. That's a song. Flop that. Break that. That's a song. Flop that. Here. We have video project. How these people are going to eject you from this line. How did that show? I will be song. It is incredibly important. I will. You cannot touch me like that. That's a song. Break that. Flop that. Here. Man, you cannot touch me like that. It is incredible. That's a song. Break that. That's a song. Break that. Flop that. Here.
Okay, can someone explain to me who Kim Fair is? Who is Kim Fair? Someone told me that Kim Fair is the one who ran Melanie off Twitter. I heard it on something, and I'm like, where'd you hear that? That's not true. It was Waiting on Angels. But also, is that Kim Fair? I don't know. I don't know who she is. I know that she's really mean to Jupac, and that's upsetting to me. So whoever Kim Fair is, I don't like her because I don't like how she's being mean to Jupac. You just snorted at that? Just don't snort up feet. I'm so sad I have to touch them to do the voodoo. God damn it. You guys want to take me on a strip club tour? That's going to be horrible for me. I hate nudity. I hate it. I don't want to see nakedness. Can you take me to one where they're all clothed and then I pay them to put on more clothes? I had here's the thing. Love strippers, love hanging out with them, love talking to them. Don't like nudity. What does that mean? I had a shitty day today. It's truly thrilling me to see these answers in chat. You know what, Rosemary Moon? You're kid of the night. Rosemary Moon is kid of the night. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. It's an award I just made. It's for people having a shitty day. And Rosemary was the first to be honest with us about her day being shit. So she is kid of the night. We love you. You get nothing, but we love you. I'm Kim Fair. Ah, shit. What do I do? How do I stop? Stop me. Someone stop me. Yeah, feet are disgusting. The Temu, Anna Nicole Smith. Oh, I liked Anna Nicole. I'll take a Temu version. Oh, she's anti-Karen Reed. Oh, doesn't sound like much of a fair. Doesn't sound fun or fair to be Kim. I love the Clermont and the Blondie. And the stripper who looks like an aerobics instructor. If Olivia Newton-John had smoked 6 packs of cigarettes a day, and the stripper they used to have with one leg, we had that. Wait. Starring this, we have a stripper with one leg here in Austin who used to work at the same strip club as Farrah from Teen Mom. And she also would go out in the corner and ask for money for drugs. And one time, many years ago, I went on a date before I met the date's boyfriend. I went on a date with this guy. And it was one of those dates where it's like, oh, we're just going to be besties. Like, this isn't going to work out. But he wanted to drink Mad Dog behind a gas station with someone one day. And I said, well, I'll do it, but I don't drink. So I just stood out there and I smoked weed while he drank a Mad Dog. And we ran into that stripper and she did a spin for us. And we were like, why are you behind the gas station? And she's like, why are you? And we were like, well, just because it was a funny idea. And she was like, well, I'm here to get drugs. And we were like, oh. And she was very nice. She was a very nice lady. And she had one leg and she could spin. And she'd go, ta-da.
These people are going to eject you from this line. That's a song.
Oh, no.
Oh, I will win. That's a song.
Yeah.
That's a song. Oh,
just in the middle. Just in the middle.
I will. That's a song. That's a song. That's a song.
You don't cry. Don't cry. You're kid of the night. You're kid of the night. No crying. You have to just sit like a king in your chair and go, I'm kid of the night.
That's a song. 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 Oh, that's a song. That's a song. That's a song. That's a song.
By the way, Darlene will do all of your palms and your things. She'll read the things for you if you need. She has cards. And she can tell you what's going to happen in your future and all the lottery numbers and all sorts of stuff.
That's a song. 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 Oh, I will be telling you. That's a song. That's a song.
Well, she sounds pretty cool, actually. What? Her chair stinks and her husband, in quotes, nonetheless, lives with another one. I mean, she's a Bill popper. Fuck, she might be awesome. Are we sure she sucks? Was she really mean to Kim and that veteran? Or to oh, I apologize. Was she really mean to Jupac? I don't want her to be mean. But also, like, that's pretty funny. Her chair stinks and she doesn't love her husband and she does pills. She just sounds like one of us. What's going on here? Just kidding. I'm sorry. Oh, no. No, no, no. No. Oh, Darlene. They did that. Are they going to let you keep any of it? Do y'all do that where they give you some of the remains? They give you some of the people dust or whatever? Do you haven't? If so, are you going to get a cute urn? What are you going to do? Let me know if you need help. We'll get you some cute. We love you. I'm one of those people like the 92-year-old guy who said, who gave me Moogies. He said he wants to be cremated immediately, no funeral. I was thinking about that, and I was like, yeah, don't give people a chance to mourn, just so they don't have to feel that way. I'm kind of all for it, but other people are like, no, we need a respectable funeral. And I'm like, nah, I think it's respectable to not. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Do you want to be cremated or do you want to have a headstone and stuff? I know you can be made into a seed. Did you know that, Darlene? You can get put in a seed and then they plant you in the ground and you become a tree. I saw that on the internet. That's pretty fun. Just let me know. You're okay with it? Okay. Well, if you need anything, if you want me to we can crowdfund a seed for you or maybe something nice to put it in. You might already have something like that. You know what I mean? But just reach out to us if you need anything. Kim Fair is a human jump scare. That rhymes. I enjoy that. Does she ignore a disabled child? Well, fuck her. She's not welcome here. She is not welcome here. Not at all. Darlene, can you give Powerball numbers? I need to talk to you. Oh, well, I will talk to you. Did you send me an email today? I'll email you back. I'll go look. It's called cremains. Oh, wow. There's a word for it? Cremains. Just no snorting. God damn it, Darlene. Fun. What the fuck, Darlene? You're the funniest bitch I know.
That's a song. Oh
my God, I'm gonna be honest with you. A God Darlene is actually a good idea. I think we should all have a God Darlene. Will you be my God Darlene? Fuck a godfather, fuck a godmother. I want a God Darlene, dude. Because she'll tell people, don't you snort that. Don't you snort that. You like people dust? That's what I call it. You want to be made to a diamond? Yeah, and then if your spouse gets remarried, that's the diamond they have to give the new spouse. I'm so sorry. Can you do that? Also, Rita loves that. Can you?
Her second trial began.
Wait, we'll catch up on this in a minute. Is that okay to do? I think you could do that, right? You could have whatever kind of funeral you want, right? Satan knows and loves a lot of sex workers because Satan. Oh, good for you, Satan. Good for you. Y'all are going to bling someone out. Lawyer ideas. I'm not the best to talk to about that because I don't know, but I do know someone who does know. Have you reached out to Melanie? She's probably too busy, honestly. Let me see. Let me talk to someone who knows more about lawyers. Because the only lawyers I know are entertainment lawyers, and they're worthless. They're honestly worthless. And it doesn't matter how expensive they are. They are fucking worthless, all of them. Can you get Peter Tragos and his dad? Because they're just really hot. It would just be cool to have a hot lawyer. Who do we know? Who's in Florida here who knows a lawyer? They should probably be from the state you're in, right? Companion cocaine. Oh, see, you and Darlene are probably going to get along great. Africanda Douglas. A cremain. I like that. Cremains. You want to be a diamond? I want to be a tree. I want to be planted in front of the governor's mansion. If you get that joke and you're from Texas, it's not a joke. I want to finish the job. Just kidding. I would like to be a seed and grow into a tree. Darlene is very funny, dude. She knows it's inappropriate to snort your parents' remains, but I also think it's sweet. I also think you'd get a sinus infection. I also think you would. Well, Dad's not getting remarried at all. Well, that's true. That is true. Bury me in my dad's backyard next to my childhood guinea pig. Aw, that's sweet. Let someone else snort for, aw. Yeah, because dads are always like, I'll be the last to eat. You serve everyone else first. Aw, yeah, and I'm getting sued by Betero now for God knows what. It's called croquet. Jesus Christ. Well, no better place for you to mourn, Darlene, than here with these feral fucking assholes. None of us have good ideas. Except God, Darlene. That was fucking good. That was a great idea. Do you need a family estate or a probate lawyer? By the way, if you don't know what a probate is, it's when you put your finger in someone's asshole and you tickle them and then they come. Wait. No, that's not a probate. I said the wrong word. I apologize. What type of lawyer do you need? Yeah, we need to know what kind of lawyer. And also, I'm not allowed in Florida either. So me and Ernie are out. I am doing that hunt for a friend who just lost her husband. Oblivious Benson. Ah, yes. Okay. The same hunt? You know what's weird? There's someone else in the chat. I'm not going to say whose friend lost his spouse recently, and they were looking for a lawyer. But they're from here. I should see what they found out. Yes, they did have a funeral at a club, and the rapper he was stuffed and then stood up in clothing. And then they changed his outfit throughout the night. Like he's fucking Beyonce, dude. That'd actually be pretty cool. It would be cool if Dylan stuffed me and then like I stared at him all the time. Like before he makes a decision, he has to look at me and I'm just like, but I'm dead. I have a container of my Grammy's ashes that was just straight up handed to me by my trashy cousin at a funeral a couple weekends ago. No clue what to do with it. I've said this before on stage as a joke, but it's actually serious. There is a woman, and I'm not suggesting you do this, but it's so fascinating how many people I know who have human ashes just on hand, and they're like, I don't know what to do with these. There's a woman in Oregon who will put them in a sex toy for you. Now, I don't think you should do that because that's your Grammy, but just in case anybody else, I don't know who you would put in. I guess your spouse. I mean, it's inappropriate to put a dog or a family member, so it would have to be like someone you're fucking. But I asked her how many she sells, and she's like, I sell these like hotcakes. So it's really fascinating. It's really fascinating. And my whole joke is I want to be put in a fleshlight so Dylan can fuck me in the ash. And that's the joke. And I find it very funny. But if you think about it, it is quite dark to do that. I just told the man upstairs I don't want him as my father again. Jesus, Darlene. Darlene, we need to get you. Okay, we need to get back to the point. We need to get you a good lawyer for whatever it is that you need. So, are you still in Discord? Let's do a lawyer Discord where anybody who needs a lawyer for something, anybody who does have good contacts, connects, suggestions, can post it in there. And if you're a lawyer, that's a great place to like, what do you call it? Ambulance chase? You could do it in my Discord. I don't care. Yeah, stuffed OB would be very, very creepy, I think. I do think it would be very, very creepy. How would they embalm my eyebrow? You know what? You're giving Bad Darlene a good laugh right now. You hear that, Bad Darlene? I know you're listening. Do you hear what she said? Now it's caught on again. Now I'm the bad eyebrow guy. Also, you're fucking grounded, Amber, but also good point. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? No fucking thank you, says Tip Knox. The concert thing? A jazz funeral? Why you want to have a boring funeral? Come on. If you send me your ashes, I will have you tattooed in me. Wow, Mitty's really thinking outside the box. Okay. That could be, wonder if that can affect your DNA. And I do wonder if that's safe. He wants to be stuffed as well. He wants his Faz hat and should be pointing at someone. Your dad's hilarious. I'm starring that. Cock cakes. Cockies? Cock cakes. Yeah, they'll just put and there's quite a few people who copied her sense, and she was very upset about it. I've only sent a couple of messages back and forth with her. I didn't have any ashes. I just was very fascinated by the entire Etsy thing. It got shut down, and she opened her own website. I can find it and post it for you if you want, but You know, she can make ashes light up somehow. She like mixes it with this fucking dust, this shiny glow dust. Yeah, it's against the law to get. Wait, Darlene, how do you know that? People get infection, but how do you know that? I used to tattoo it. I didn't even know that. I just figured. You know that? Did you ask? Did you ask someone to do that? Oh, thank you so much. This is my cardigan. This is what I wear when I need to be taken seriously. When I'm doing a Zoom interview or if I'm on a podcast. I'm like, look at me. I'm Floral. Just wanted to talk to her. To who? Oh, the lady with the ashes? Yeah, I just wanted to talk to her. I just want to ask her questions. I was fascinated. Yes, you do know that. Okay. Okay. Well, this is fascinating. I had no idea. Okay. I guess people put that in there. How do we know she isn't putting ashes from her cigarette in the No, because you ship her the ashes. And it has to be a specific weight depending on the product. And you can have it light up and glow, and she could do all different size dicks and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it's against the law to put it in your tattoo. They had to make a law for that, though? Holy shit. This is fascinating. I had no idea. This is exciting, though. All right, so let's get to the point because we have to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to do part 2 today of all of the conflicts of interest in the Karen Reed case. And we're starting with the CW because that's pretty much all the conflicts I can find. Simultaneously, we've gotten halfway through and we stopped at Jen McCabe because wanted to do something with Jen McCabe that's it's a little longer than the others, and we were winding down. And I did skip ahead to Baby Brian, and I did inform you all that he's an innocent, and it was his birthday. So I still stand by that. Good. I paused on a great part. I did start watching. Okay, I'll do a little rant after this, and then we'll get into it. But I want to start out with R.I.P. Val Kilmer. R.I.P. Val Kilmer. This is fucking sad. It's not true crime related. It's just I love Val Kilmer because speaking of people who rule like Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer fucking rules. That dude is awesome. I saw him once at a Fun Fest riding on the back of a fucking golf cart, and he was so nice. He had long hair. He was beautiful, man. Beautiful, man. He was following around the guy who like invented mushrooms or wrote a book about psilocybin mushrooms, and he was like following that guy around to play him in like an indie film. He just happened to be at this festival, and it was when he started getting chubby, and he was just the nicest dude. And it's just so wild to me that, like, yeah, it's like Patrick Swayze. You just don't expect the hot to die so young. I think he was older, but whatever. I loved him. I loved Val Kilmer. He was one of my first Hollywood crushes. It was like Dan Marino, Bill Clinton, Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton, like just the basics. You know what I mean? And that guy. And then, of course, all of Hanson. Fucking River Phoenix was so fucking hot. Yeah, it is pretty fucked up. I can't believe he's gone. What a poor soul. God, he had so much left in him. Anyway, yeah, so R.I.P. Val Kilmer. That sucks. That's really fucking sad. I want to say thank you to Laura. Laura Riker, listen to me. Laura, wait, what'd you say about Top Gun? Gay Top Gun? Absolutely. Dude, he is hotter when he's gay. There's something about not being able to have him that makes him really hot. Okay. Laura stole a library book and sent it to me because it has Banana Dog on it. Now, she'll lie and tell you that she bought it at a yard sale, but we all know what's up. We all know what's up. First of all, I immediately started crying when I got this because you guys know how much I love Banana Dog. He's behind me. You can't see him because of the backdrop, but don't worry, you'll be seeing it soon because I'm redoing my office, which is why I try to keep the Hell in the Cell thing up. Look at this little boy. So she stole from me, so she's my favorite. Don't tell the others. Look at the inside. Look at all the Hoogans made out of food. So many potato animals and random, like a cauliflower poodle. You can't even see this shit. Look at this shit. Food animals? Look at this cute thing. Oh my God, that's me. That's me. They stole my picture. They stole my picture. This is what I look like. Everything you're seeing right now is a filter. This is what I really look like. I'm pretty mad that Laura stole a book with my picture in it. But she sent me a nice note. I'm not going to read it because it's private and it has a lot of confessions in it. But Laura, thank you very much. I appreciate you stealing from the government for me. I apologize to the library that you stole from. But you're not grounded. Because you guys know that your dad loves a good snitch. And if you stole it and got away with it, that's on them. You know, they should have secured it better. That's the way I look at it. I have no problem with you thieving as long as you give it to me. This is really sick, though. And I did burst into tears when I saw it because of this. See how it says due date and shit? Can you... Oh, is it going to... Let me put my face by it. Maybe it'll work. There you go. Look at that due date. 2003. Laura stole that shit from me, for me, 22 years ago. She knew 22 years ago one day she's going to steal this and one day she's going to give it to her dad. That potato is very cute though. What else do we got here? Chief Peep Officer. Oh, yes. Where did I put this? Hold on. Let me remove this background so I can read something to you. Oh, it's gone. Fuck. Well, if you Google Chief Peep Officer, the Peep Corporation is hiring. I know some of you kids have expressed that you're looking for a new job or you'd like to change jobs. You've expressed interest in doing something other than what you do, whatever that is. And good for you. And I told you when the Wayback Machine was hiring. I've told you how to get unclaimed government funds. Now I think the next step is to tell you that Peeps are hiring. What are Peeps? I don't know. They're marshmallow, I think, covered with some type of sugar. I do know that they sell more Peeps than there are people annually, which is a shock. I don't know how they keep it going. It seems that Peeps have breached the space-time continuum. However, they're hiring. So, if you type in Chief Peep Officer, you can be the Chief Peep Officer. Now, what does this Peep Officer do? They peep on people in the bathroom. I'm just kidding. They eat every peep. They taste it. They taste test Peeps. They are makeup sponges, but they're the kind that you can ingest when you're done. They are disgusting. For some reason, we buy them up, though. And now they need a Peep tester. So if you want to test the taste of Peeps and be the Chief Peep, which is also a great rap name, Chief Peep, they'll pay you to eat the Peeps and go, doesn't taste like pizza. I don't know if you have to like Peeps, but the way I look at it is, who likes their job? You know, yours is burning you out. You'd rather eat Peeps. See what I mean? Auntie Ree says, ew, no thanks. And Ern's got Peeps in her blood. That's assault. That's unhealthy. Do you have Peeps in your blood? You need to fix that. Only circus peanuts. I've never had circus peanuts. I've had plain peanuts. Are circus peanuts different? You've eaten worse. Yeah, Satan, we know. You go to strip clubs. I will be a Peep tester, but I'm not cheap. You're not a cheap Peep. Lil Peep. Lil Peep's dead. R.I.P. But also, I mean, he did pour a lot of Xanax in his mouth and go, I'm ready to go. And he was like in a great mood. So I don't. That kid, man, he had too many face tattoos. That's what did it. R.I.P. Lil Peep. That was so sad. I like Fugans, but I'm out on the Peep. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool. Like, Chief Peep Officer, you want to be a Peep taster? You just got your back blown out at your job? Except not during... Jesus Christ, Darlene. Darlene was a hooker, but she was also a receptionist. So it was the receptionist work that blew... I'm just fucking with you. Darlene was an EMT who handled a severed dick to anyone who's new here. She's our godmother, God Darlene. There is Dr. Pepper Peeps at Five Below. Well, don't tell everyone the dossier. I can't eat Peeps, but I like how the sugar burns. It burns? Well, now I'm going to go light a Peep on fire when this is over. I don't have any, but I'll go find some. They're like orange marshmallow. What? Oh, those things? Yeah, those are disgusting. Those are weird. Yeah, you could be a Peep taster. He was ready to go to Jesus. Satan is loving it. Peeps are diabetes, wrapped in methamphetamine. Oh! That's why people like them. So if someone's getting a whole bunch of peeps, they're probably running a meth lab. R.I. Peep. God damn it. I want to tell you guys why I love boomers, and then we're going to get into it. Here's my rant. Okay, I like boomers. I love boomers. I'm going to be honest with you. I really love them. I don't want to name names, but I'm going to. Papa Sean, I asked him if he could hook me up with someone because I'd like to do an interview with them one day. Maybe after the whole Karen Reed thing is done, just someone I knew he knew. And let me tell you what Papa Sean did. He sent me their phone number. What? First of all, that hasn't happened in a decade. Like, and I worked in journalism. Hey, can I get the contact for this person? What do I get? I get an email of a guy who knows a guy. I get a potential like way to reach them through AIM or through fucking Facebook or whatever they use, fucking Gmail. It's always like email or it's through like, oh, they're on Twitter. Here's their Twitter. Oh, here's their publicist. Mostly if it's like a wrestler or someone, like, because I used to interview wrestlers. So here's their publicist. Here's their agent. If it's comedy and I'm trying to book a show with them, it's like, okay, well, here's their Facebook, you know? But if I'm trying to like interview someone, it's here's the publicist. You never get a phone number anymore. No one does that. However, recently, even after that, when I reach out to other people to get other contacts for other interviews that I'd like to plan, here's why I love the boomers, because they just go, oh, here's their phone number. Oh, let me check my Rolodex. Here's their phone number. Why are you making it so easy for me, Papa? Why is anybody making it that easy? Like, that is so cool. And not only that, but like, it's respectable that they will answer a phone and talk to you. And other people will go, oh, why are you calling me? Can't you just text me? It's like, because calling's easier. It's best, I think. And maybe I will, Susie. I'll ask him. He wants to. He's just got some shit going on right now. So when the shit's not going on, we'll bring him on. We'll bring him on. Rolodexes are underrated. They absolutely are, Tiff. I don't know if it's a landline. I'm kind of scared to call it, honestly. I'm kind of scared. Not going to say who it is, but it's someone that I deeply respect and adore. But I do think it's like super fucking cool that like, I don't know, I kind of lied. Actually, a few boomers have given me phone numbers over the past, but it wasn't for like interviews. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, you need to get a hold of this person. Here's their phone number, but it's like a family member. You know what I mean? Like in this case, yeah, same nosy Rosie. Very boomerish, I feel, because I'm like, I write things down, you know? I write things down. I write jokes down in a joke book. I don't type them. I still will send my set via like a CD or, you know what I mean, a USB to someone, and sometimes email, but mostly like, here's my tape. That's kind of how it always was. And now it's like, nope, you just send them a link. It's kind of weird. But yeah, it's nice to just be like, hey, I need to get a hold of someone, and they just give you a phone number. It's like, oh, thank fuck. Like, not a business for a person. That just hasn't happened in a long time. It's always email, and they never get back to you. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I just appreciate it. It made me love boomers so much because I already love them, but it's like, ugh, finally, like, thank you. It's nice to just talk to someone. And like, I never really, like, I'll text with him and random people like one or two, but usually it's like calling, you know what I mean? Or like a voice message. It's just nice to like hear someone's voice or to see them face to face. That's another thing I love about boomers, especially with comics. It's like, what are you doing after the show? Oh, we're going to go out to a diner. Like, you're going to a place to see someone face to face. It's just really nice to meet people ahead of time before a show or after a show. Like, but you go out and you do stuff together. You like have a dinner or you drive around, take them to the airport. Like, that's nice. Because now a lot of people just get Ubers, they ignore you, and then you don't. Like, you could do a whole show with someone and never see them and be on the same show. So it's fucking wild. So I really like how people are just like very person to person in the boomer era. I kind of miss that a lot. Yeah, and now the phone book's online, whitepages.com, dude. Yeah, emails get lost in junk mail. I just love it. That's far too much human interaction, says AJ. I know. I know. You used to sit on phone books because I was too short. Oh, shit, Darlene, you're too short? I knew it. I knew it. You pimp. I don't know if you'll get that, but I love you, Darlene. You're the best. Okay. Let's get to the Karen Read stuff. First of all, started watching the Carrie Roberts testimony back because I realized I don't think I saw it all. I was like, maybe I missed some of this. So I went back and watched it back. There's some things I noticed that I did not notice before. She said, when I dug his head out. Pardon? She dug his head out, meaning like he'd been there a while, right? I thought it was weird because she said that he was encased in ice, and then she said that blood was pouring out of the back of his head. So she got a blanket and wrapped his head in blankets, and then she said the blankets were bloody. Here's why I go back and watch. Because if you go on Twitter right now and just type in OJO, like Officer John O'Keefe, or you type in Karen Read, and then you type in, where's the blood? Just type that in. Where's the blood? Like the amount of people saying, where was all the blood? Like we've been hearing it on this channel. Like, sure, where's the blood is what I've said because I missed that part, I guess. But I went back and I watched it. Yeah, she said that. See, you don't remember that? Nobody seems to remember that. And I went, oh, there's where all the blood went. We should talk about that. Why don't people talk about this? The blood is in the blanket. Let me reread this. These are the exact quotes. When I dug his head out, she was saying of the snow, because he had ice all over him. And then Lally's like, how much ice? What kind of ice? Ice. Because Lally fucking loves snow, remember? He fucking loves it. And I think that part might have upset him because I don't think he expected her to say that. And she said, when I dug his head out. So then he goes in a little more. Because I think what he was doing, you could tell he sounded unsure and a little irritated. I think what he was trying to do was trying to get her to admit that it wasn't buried in snow or there wasn't a bunch of snow on top of him. He even asked her, like, how much snow? She said 3 to 4 inches. That's a lot. That's that much snow on his head. So his face and his head are packed in snow? One can't breathe that way, can one? She said, when I dug his head out, then she said he was bleeding out of the head, so she wrapped his head with blankets. She said that Karen was giving mouth to mouth, right? And then she got up and was running around freaking out. And then she wrapped his head in blankets because Carrie was the one doing the compressions because she had training. And then Karen was doing mouth to mouth. So basically what happened was they got there. Carrie wipes the snow off of him. She starts compressing. Karen comes up, does the mouth to mouth, right? And then Karen gets up and is running around and she's frantic. And Carrie continues. So they both first responded. They both gave him CPR together. The only one who didn't was Jen McCabe, and she didn't even say his name. Exactly. Where did the blanket come from? The car, I guess. She put the blankets in her car and left. So now there's blanket. Well, she said that they were covered in blood. They were soaked in blood. Completely covered in 3 to 4 inches of snow when she got to him. Wiped it off his head. Starts doing compressions. Karen starts doing CPR. Then after Karen gets up, she goes and gets blankets and she wraps his head in it because he's bleeding everywhere. And that it soaked through the blankets. And then she said that the bloody blankets were handed over. So, I mean, that's nuts. Exactly. I mean, that's what people have been saying, but I'm like, no, she testified to it. She talked about it on the stand, and Lally seemed kind of, Ugh. So I'm like, damn. I mean, yeah, fair enough, but if Jen's on the phone with 911, right, I can see her being an asshole. I would be an asshole if someone's screaming. But at the same time, I totally get why Karen would be screaming because it's the love of her life and he's dead. I see both sides with them. The only one that concerns me that I don't really quite get is Jen because Jen doesn't say his name. She doesn't say it's I mean, everything that she could say to make the urgent call more urgent, she doesn't do. She seems very calm. It's very weird. That's just my opinion. I think it's very weird how calm she was. So, John O'Keefe, everyone's like, where's the blood? Where's the blood? Carrie says the blood is in the blankets. Where's the blankets? I don't know. She said blood was coming out of his head and she wrapped it in blankets. She said it on the stand. That's what I'm saying is, like, I think it's important to go back and rewatch some of this shit because everybody freaks out about these things. And then I go watch it and I'm like, well, there's the answer. This person said that. Part of me wonders, is it denial or did they just miss it? If they just missed it, understandable, me too. But like denial is kind of weird because if you heard it and you were following it super, super close, and then that's like your talking point on both sides, but mainly AFKR was saying a lot of shit that it's like, well, there's your answer. But then they said other shit and it's like, well, there's your answer. Like, I don't understand why a lot of it, maybe it's just too much info. It's all getting lost in the sauce. I'm not trying to blame anyone for anything. I just think it's weird because I'd never heard of these blankets. She said baby blankets from the car, says Sydney Sue. Love your bangs, Sydney. Cute. So, yeah, and then the blood was in the solo cups too, apparently. In snow from the garden. Here's the thing. The solo cups was absurd. That was fucking absurd. Like, they shouldn't have done that to begin with. They shouldn't have done, like, that's absurd. Any other trial you put solo cups in, that shit's out. There's no fucking way it would be entered into evidence whatsoever. I'm shocked. Like, that was the moment when I said, this is a fucked case. And here's the thing. When they said, no, we don't, when Bev denied the FBI guy to come in and talk about policy and procedure, yeah, I was miffed. That was honestly, out of everything she denies, I know that a lot of people are saying, you know, oh, it's biased, it's one-sided. I do think that some of Bev's calls have been pretty on par with how most judges would call it, because it really is, our justice system has never really been in favor of the defendant until it's one of us. You know what I mean? And then, or I should say in the prosecution until it's one of us. In which case I always feel like, wait, did I say that wrong? Basically, like, as a victim, you think you have rights and you don't. That's what I mean. And, I do think that when there's a defendant, right, they tend to be looked at as not innocent, even though they are innocent until proven guilty. And that's just kind of how it's always been. It's just always been like, oh, you were accused of that. Like, you can't deny that. Like, people act like that. At the same time, it's really fucking wild to me how, like, some of her calls on this are just absurd. Like, they're like, you can't have someone testify to policy and procedure, really? Like, you can't have anybody talk about what the status quo is? The whole idea, yeah, it should have been considered tampering with evidence, 100%. For an hour with no tape, and they said 30 to 30 mile per hour winds. No, there weren't. I mean, there were winds, but at first when they got there, and also not taking a picture was a choice of where the body was exactly. And then letting Trooper Paul testify that he knew where the body was and then repeatedly say he didn't know where the body was. What? It's pretty bad. Yeah, this is like the worst. And I'm also sick of people going, oh, don't stop talking about her grounds for appeal. No, we should be talking about it, because if they fuck her again, you need to be ready for that. Stop planning ahead for a potential future. That sounds like bad advice. No, think happy thoughts. Okay, you're telling me to pray about it. No. Stop praying about things that are preventable. How about that? How about start preparing so that you can prevent them? How about that? Just a thought. Just a fucking thought. Get your shit in order, maybe. Never, ever, ever, when it comes to your life in a criminal case, if you didn't fucking do it, you need to be thinking about appeal. And anybody who supports you needs to be thinking about appeal. You could do both. But it's not a one or the other. That's what bothers me, is when people go, stop talking about it. No, talk about it. You should be talking about this shit more. It's wild to me. Pray and prevent. PAP. Get your PAPs, ladies. The point is, I think we need to go back and rewatch a lot of this stuff, even though Trial 2.0 is coming, because I'm starting to see that, like, there's so many things that people seem to be forgetting, including the judge. She said, my memory is very clear on this. And then she said the wrong thing. And it's like, I'm looking at it right here. That's not what happened. Unless he's got a potential appeal already written and color-coded. That is true, and I believe that. I believe that 100%. Protect the record. True. It is more corrupt, and it seems to be more corrupt in Massachusetts than anywhere. I think that's what fascinates me about all of this. Because people really do look the other way, don't they? Like, that Trump shit tripped me out because he would say, like, this didn't happen, and it did. We can watch it. We can see it. It's not a deep fake, and he was even proud of it at the time. And then later on, it's like, that didn't happen. It's like, you can't just tell me that. I just fucking saw it. But the willingness of people, it's kind of like back in the day, you read about how everybody swept everything under the rug. Remember American Beauty when he smashes the asparagus on the wall? Because it's like, fuck! Because the whole family just spends all their time pushing things under the rug. Might be worse than Burke. I don't know. Burke is pretty fucking bad. Don't you dare pray about the moon. How dare you? But I do think that it's wild how many people just fucking, no, pretend that didn't happen. Like, you can't do that. You can't dissociate and compartmentalize and stuff it all down like it didn't happen. That fucking happened, and you need to confront it. Otherwise, you're in denial. If they heard Chloe when they went in the house, dogs are a lot. Dude, how did the dog not respond to the lights? My dog sees lights. He thinks it's a blinky ball. And here's the thing. Chloe was elderly, right? But she was aggressive. Was she blind? Like, what's going on here? I want to know more about Chloe. Are we going to find out in this trial? Or that's the shit about Bev that annoys me. She just took them at their word for everything, the Commonwealth. We finally got, I think Alessi's going to be more on point with like, nope, we want to know. Don't just skate over that shit, Judge, because if you do, I'm going to give you a 20-hour speech and pick your ass apart in public. And I know you want to fuck me, but don't give me those eyes because I'm going to read it all. She's going to go spare the speech. You're right. Fuck it. Because she just wants to see him with his robe off or whatever, his fucking jacket off. She's like, just take the jacket off. Are you wearing 3/4 sleeves? That's all she cares about. She thought she was iffy and she thought potentially hit him by accident, but again, hasn't been paying attention. So she now thinks he wasn't hit by a car. I feel like convincing someone, even if it's my own mom, is such a win. It is. It is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is a win. Yeah, they did. I mean, but here's the thing. They didn't because, I mean, we thought they did, but we got one juror. She's now her fucking defense. She didn't take it as a fact, but what happened to her? They fucking ditched her too. They kicked her ass out because they were like, and again, the juror champion, the fact that Fanning was in charge, all of it just pisses me off. She wasn't there. They got her out of the house real quick. Wait, who? Oh, Chloe? Yeah, shit. Also, that's a big fucking house. They could have just put her in a, what do you call it? A crate, stuck her in a back room. It's just so wild to me. It's wild. Okay, so here's what's going on. We're on, what is it, day 2 or 3 of jury selection? Honestly, jury selection is very boring because they don't let you hear the sidebars. Honestly, the court, that's what really, going back and rewatching some of this shit, god damn it. The most important shit is the sidebar, and I don't like how they're, objection, and then Bev gets to guess what they're objecting to based on what she knows of the law. Hun, I went back and looked at your history as a judge and as a fucking dude before she was nominated for judgeship by that corrupt fucking governor, Devin, whatever his fucking name was. Oh my God, like Bev defended a lot of rapists. And you look at those cases and they fucking did it. It's really crazy. It's scary for me to think. I mean, I think it's scary for anyone to think that, like, she must have been a pretty fucking good defense attorney or she was very well connected. And then you look at the arguments and it reminds me of Hank and his rape case for that one girl. Yeah, Devil Patrick. He fucking sucked. He did. And again, I'm very liberal. I should like the Democrats, but Morrissey and Patrick, they fucking suck my dick. They are horrible. They're horrible. And that's a lot for me to say. I'll put party behind me. Those people fucking suck. Horrible at their jobs. Horrible. His own brother beat the shit out of his wife and raped her repeatedly. And what does he do? He goes and he fucking tries to bribe people and then just says, you know what? No, don't put him on the sex offender registry. He tries to keep him off the sex offender registry and then fires the chick who does the right thing and puts him on it because that's where he fucking belongs. That was Deval Patrick's sister. That was his blood. And he sided with the rapist? Ugh. Because it looked bad for him? Get the fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck what kind of social policy or what kind of change he did and where he did it and how successful it was. Sure, you can make a bunch of social programs, but if you side with a rapist or you murder someone, like, you're just a piece of shit. Like, I'm sorry. It's just true. God, he was the worst. Yeah, blood don't mean shit to people who are in politics, right? Oh, the trial of that doctor is crazy. When he makes him read the sex stuff, that old guy looks so uncomfortable. Honestly, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. Like when he's making him read all the, and then you want me to have sex with you and I want to put my cock in your mouth. It's like, oh my God, dude. This poor old man, he's just like, he's barely getting through it. He's so embarrassed. So funny. Honestly, that was pretty funny. All right, we're going to watch an update. About the audit. I guess EPA's done. I don't know. The audit is done. They put it out. You know what I saw? I'm sure plenty of you noticed, right? Did you notice how the audit was literally a copy paste from the policy and procedures that we went over from the Secretary of State? Isn't that funny? We did it for free. It took 8 hours. We did it for free, and it's the exact same shit that they put out. Where's our money? Should I send them a bill from the select board, BORED? Should I? Because I feel like I should. Did the select? I'm gonna be so pissed if Bob watched this episode, the one where we did the policies and procedures, and then took the money, pretended to hire someone, and then put that audit list out. I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm gonna be so pissed. It's not objective at all. Well, neither were we. Audits are a subjective art form, ladies and gentlemen. The audit was also an audit of the residents and not cops. The report was kind of shady. I did judge the residents too, so that could also be on me. I do apologize, but they can't be putting up with this shit. You need to storm that Capitol. Except the audit includes a really interesting and very incorrect standard for probable cause for search warrants. It does. I noticed the days were adjusted. Perhaps we should preserve these for 800 days. Why? Because that's what the Secretary of State said to do? It's weird how they did it like, hey, here's what should have been done instead of here's where you fucked up. We did the same thing and said it meaner. And by meaner, I mean we just told them what the truth was. They sugarcoated the fuck out of our audit, and I don't appreciate it. Could have gotten $200,000. They paid so much money. Feelings. I had feelings. I did have feelings, but my feelings were better than theirs. It is a Capitol. Page 91, the price tag is apparently far too low for a full audit. No audit was done on their forensics. We audited their forensics. We looked at the rules for evidentiary, like basically what is allowed in evidence, what is allowed to even be called evidence before it's entered in at trial. It has to have all the raw data, the metadata. Here are the standards for evidentiary policy across the board, federal, local, state government, all of it. They couldn't look at that. We did that. Where's my $200K? We want to buy an Austin Powers little person. Have them run around and please us by doing dances. I noticed that if you want to get hired by Canton PD, you have to be sponsored by an hired officer first. Well, let's find a hired gun. Social media is making fun of us. They do it to me. You can handle it. Select board. That's so, first of all, I would have done it for 1,000. I don't know what they're doing. There was absolutely probable cause. A dead guest is on the front lawn. I'd be immediately thinking I better check the house. Exactly. Well, thank you. That's part of the procedure. In my classes, it was secure the crime scene. For warrants, what is required for a warrant? Well, it depends. If you want to get a warrant for a building that is on someone's property, right? You not only have to get a warrant for the land, but also the building if it is X number of yards away from the original building with which you're serving. Because what you're serving is, if it's a house, the house and the yard, right, is included. But if it's just land, then that building, how far away is it from the initial serving? So like if your house is on another piece of property across the street or in another city, you're going to need a whole new warrant, at least here. There's all these different rules. Is it a fenced-in property or an open property? That's going to change the warrant. Is it 2 buildings or 1 building? Is one a garage or is it something entirely separate, like what Cato Kalin had? If Cato Kalin has a lock on his door and pays rent, that is a totally separate warrant, right? Totally separate warrant. So when we're looking at warrants, lawns, shit like that, that's what I'm thinking with the search. Okay, who do you search? Well, who do you have probable cause to search? Well, that would be the house attached to the land. Simple. That is absolutely true. They could have just asked them. It's just nice to be asked sometimes. If your property can be searched in a murder investigation, it's just nice to be asked. Another thing is a canvassing. Well, I understand it's a blizzard, but you could have made some fucking calls. Here's what I don't get. They're talking about, well, we canvassed in the coming days. You know what I mean? It took us a while. Well, why is that? Well, because there was a blizzard. Fair enough. But in this blizzard, you bothered one of the neighbors for the solo cups, right? Right? So you're following policy and procedure unless it's like your homie. If you don't want to bother anyone, so much so that you say you kept the sound off on your sirens because you don't want to bother anyone, well, then stop bothering people for their solo cups and go get shit from your fucking police department to secure the crime scene. Yeah, hey, Brian Albert, they called you a surveillance expert because of your work on the Phil Markoff case. You remember him, the Craigslist killer? A surveillance mastermind, an expert, top of the line, great guy. Yet this fucking SEAL Team 6 level fucking mastermind of surveillance didn't see a fucking dead officer on his lawn with all the flashing lights and the ambulance. You didn't see that? Right outside your window? Oh, you must not be tier 3. Oh, I'm sorry. You must not have taken Jen Coffindoffer's class on how to escape the ring cam. I'm trying not to see so bad, but I'm telling you guys, I might just shoot Sod out. So I'm going to hit play on this so we can watch it. But in all seriousness, like, where's the tier 3 love? Like, where's the tier 3 love? Where? Brian, get out of your house, sir. Pink Panther looking motherfucker. Yeah, he's out here. He's sneaky. He's creeping around. Ooh, tier 3 surveillance. Him and Jen. Dun, 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 dun. Like, they're acting like the kids in Jurassic Park hiding from the velociraptors. They're so good at surveillance. Bitch, look out your fucking window. Hey, Julie's outside and she's going to get the peanut butter and sandwich. Watch, she might slip and fall in the snow. That's why they were looking out. They were just looking to see if she was going to fall because it's funny to watch Nagels fall down. If they would have said, hey, there's a Nagel outside and she's going to get your fucking peanut butter, everyone would have looked out. Also, hey, let me ask you another question. Why is everybody fucking ignoring baby Brian on his birthday? Hey, it's your birthday. We're going to go away from you. Does anyone ever talk about this? I'm going to go, okay, another rant. I'm leaning back for this one. Hey, happy birthday. Happy birthday, baby Brian. We're so happy that it's your birthday. We love you. You're a family member. We adore you. Do you want to celebrate? Oh, you have social anxiety? You just want to have a party at home? Cool. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, you go get the drinks, go get everything you need. Auntie JJ will bring you donuts in the morning. That will substitute that for your cake. You don't need a cake. Getting a little packing on the pounds, maybe right. They probably said some condescending shit like that. So you'll get your donuts in the morning. But you know what? Baby Brian, listen, we me and Uncle Matt and Auntie JJ, everybody has double names because they're fucking weird. Miss Jaja, Julie Albert, whatever. Me and your aunts and uncles and your cousins and everybody and the underage kids, we're gonna go fucking drink. Okay. You stay here. You know what I want you to do? I need you to get some party cups for your party, and I need you to go ahead and get a veggie tray because Nagel's gonna come over and just be funny to see what she does. And then if we hide the peanut butter in the car, put the peanut butter in the car so she doesn't get it. And we're just gonna lock up Chloe. We're gonna put her in the back. She could bark in the bathroom, whatever. You get your party stuff together. We're going to head out. We're going to go to the waterfall, and then we're probably going to go to a couple other places. Me and your mom are going to get fucking smashed, okay? We're going to get a couple of friends that you barely know. We're going to come back home. We're going to bother you, okay? Then we'll bother you later. We'll do your real birthday then, okay? All right, we love you. And then they all leave. And then baby Brian's like, I'm calling my theater bitches to complain about my family. And then Julie Nagel comes over and she's like, where's the peanut butter? And he's like, oh, Julie, hey, I got a veggie tray. And she just fucking trashes it immediately. I'm getting far off from the point. The point is, I'm so jealous of Julie. And second of all these bitches that don't deserve to be around him are all there basking in his essence. Oh, baby Brian, it's your birthday. Oh. Auntie JJ didn't bring you the donuts yet? Oh, fuck. You go to make sure that you unlock your car so she can put them in there. Because if she puts them in here, Julie will get them. Which, by the way, I figured out on my own. We all know that the reason those donuts were not brought inside is because the Nagel likely came back. Didn't want her to find them. Or if she did come back, she rolled down the hill and wandered in. We don't want her finding Auntie JJ's donuts. So they leave for his birthday. They make him do everything for himself. He probably, when everybody got home, he was probably sitting alone in a party hat while all of his friends were in the back drinking, feeding throwing trash at the Nagel while she tries to eat it. And they're just sitting in the back like, oh, fucking baby Brian's in there. I mean, he's going to listen to Adele. And then he puts on his favorite Adele song and he's sitting there and he's like, crying because nobody bought him a present on his birthday. And then in comes fucking Pollen. Give me that shit. He starts doing karaoke. He's like, I'm going to leave a threatening message for some people. He picks up his phone. He's like, hey, fuck you. I'm going to fight you. And Adele's playing. And then baby Brian's like loving it. He's like, everybody's here now. They're here for me. And he's singing with them. And then Colin gets off the phone and he turns around and he goes, you. And he looks at baby Brian. Baby Brian goes, what? That's when Colin goes, your Nagel is outside. And baby Brian goes, what? And then all of a sudden Jen, they all run to the window. They look out. She's got the peanut butter all over. She's like, oh. They're like, oh my God. They don't even look. They have no idea what's going on with the Karen Reed thing. That's why they didn't see it. They were watching the fucking Nagel. Then Brian goes, oh yeah, that's what she does. And then Brian goes and sits down and they're just staring out the window. Noting everything. Now they've seen her. Is that her? Is that Higgins? That could be Higgins. I don't know. Who cares? We're all wasted. Brian, don't drink the Crystal Light. That's for Uncle Higgins. Don't know. Brian, I don't care I'll give a fuck if it's your birthday, you little bitch. And then they just put him through the drywall. Poor baby Brian. And then what happens? And then baby Brian's like sitting there and he's just like, I fucking hate my birthday. And then he's like, where is everyone? Because he starts to notice. He gets a little high, maybe. He looks around. He's like, where is everyone? They're like, we got a party going downstairs. We're beating the shit out of a co-op. He goes, again? They go, yeah, we're beating the fucking shit out of a co-op. We're going to kill him. You want to come with? You want to hit him? Brian says, but it's my birthday. What? So you guys are going to spend all night framing someone for murder and you're not going to come inside for cake? We didn't get you a fucking cake, you little queer. And then he's like, whoa, because that's how they talk to him. They treat him like shit. Then he started crying. Then he said, I don't want to be implicated in this. And they said, go upstairs, bitch. And he's like, stop calling me names. Then he goes upstairs and then Julie comes in and she goes, are you still awake? And he goes, and then I'm not going to talk about what happened. But we all know what happened. Anyway, so that's what I think happened. Let's go ahead and watch. God bless baby Brian. Let's go ahead and watch the update for the Canton audit, and then we'll get into the show. That's fun, right? Now we're in 15, and now we're going to get into it. All right? Are you ready? That was fun. Here we go. Here's what's going on.
Same day, Canton Police released results of an independent audit, which uncovered shortfalls in their investigation of John O'Keefe's death and how dramatically that investigation has impacted other officers. Tonight, we have team coverage. We will take you inside the courtroom for the Reed trial and give you a closer look at the Canton Police review.
We start tonight with new information about the fallout from this audit. WBZ's Tammy Mutasa shows us how Canton residents can confront the issues that this uncovered.
The independent audit started last year after backlash about how the Canton Police Department handled the investigation into the death of Officer John O'Keefe, and some failures were found, but it also gave insight about how the vitriol around town is impacting officers. The Canton Police Department has been under scrutiny since the death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe in Canton led to the Karen Reed murder trial.
We've had a long-standing problem with investigative issues.
Now an independent audit is revealing missteps in crime scene protocol during the early stages of O'Keefe's death investigation. For example, the audit found the first responding officers should have photographed O'Keefe's body at the crime scene at 34 Fairview in its original location before it was taken away by ambulance. Auditors also noted that police didn't do interviews with all critical witnesses, like Jennifer McCabe at police headquarters, where they could be recorded. The report also says state police and Canton police should have stayed at the 34 Fairview home until a secondary search by crime scene units.
If you haven't been trained, if you haven't had that experience, you figure it out on the fly and you don't always get it right, to be frank. And I think that's what we saw here. And obviously that is...
I didn't like you at first, then I liked you, and now I'm starting to not like you again. Stop minimizing what they did wrong. You don't get it right at first? Excuse the fuck out of me. No one on the scene, it was their first scene ever. None of them. All of them were cops who had been doing this shit for a while. Dude, I wish he wouldn't, because I love him too. He won me over, but here's the deal. He's minimizing. No, you don't fuck up when you've been doing that a long time. That's not how things go. If you haven't been trained, they have been trained, and they have been doing this job, some for over a decade. They have been very trained. In fact, everyone who ever took a criminal justice class has been trained. More people have been trained on this procedure than there are cops. So I'm afraid that excuse is not going to work, in my opinion. I'm going to give him a second. I'm going to go back because I don't want to stop him in the middle. He might be like, just kidding, psych.
In its original location before it was taken away by ambulance. Auditors also noted that police didn't do interviews with all critical witnesses, like Jennifer McCabe at police headquarters, where they could be recorded. The report also says state police and Canton police should have stayed at the 34 Fairview home until a secondary search by crime scene units.
If you haven't been trained, if you haven't had that experience, you figure it out on the fly and you don't always get it right, to be frank. And I think...
Yeah, that's true. That's what he said. Yeah, no, first of all, they have been trained. That's why you go through training. Remember training? It's the thing where Enrique got killed. That was for the state police. For Canton police, they've been through training. In fact, you have to go through school and then training so you get it double pounded into you how to deal with a crime scene. I've only had it pounded into me once. But even after you go to school for it, you then have to be trained on it in real time. It's called field training. You also have academies and whatnot, police academies. Yeah. And Miss Jess can attest. Miss Jess, you can attest. The military trains you. And a lot of these guys have ex-military experience. There is no excuse. They waited 12 hours. Exactly. You go out in the field constantly. You train for it. The problem here is these were all not just longtime investigators, but like, okay, here's an example. Remember they said at the beginning that Canton PD said, we shouldn't be involved in this or something. And then they got the Stadies. Even then, it's still your job to secure the crime scene and keep a log. Everyone knows that. Everyone fucking knows that. So the fact that the Stadies didn't even do best practices is a problem. It is a big problem. So not only have the locals been trained twice, but they also go every year annually for more training. Oh, you got to do more training. A policy changes, more training. And then the Stadies take it over. They've been trained 3 times. So why the fuck is this still happening? Why, even with the Stadies, was it fucked up? Why was there no fucking, the amount of pictures that didn't have rulers next to them was a problem.
I think that's what we saw here. And obviously that is an area that the defense is going to use in the trial.
Retired state police veteran law enforcement expert Todd McGee says it's on the towns to provide funding and training to police departments.
We have to understand that if the selectmen are not providing the resources for the police department, that's a problem.
The audit is all.
You know what? It's also a conflict. And we talked about this yesterday morning when we did our video on part 1 conflicts. The selectmen, they should have given them more money so that they could do their job. First of all, it's not the money that's the problem. Oh, the body cams. Yeah, that would have been real nice. What's on my head? That would have been real nice, you know? But here's the deal. All you need to do is, all that they needed to do was keep a log and secure the crime scene and interview the right people. You don't need money for that, sir. You're not making a transaction. You had a place where you could interview people. You could have had a Stady there. You could have said, come with us to make sure we do this right. Here, you can use our room. They said that about one guy, but they couldn't do that for all of them. Guess what? We need to go ahead and we need to record this conversation. It's called a fucking recorder. Have one in your pocket, shitbirds. What is this? You can't afford an $8 recorder. Hey, here's a thought. You guys have phones for your job, right? Specifically for your job, not your personal phone, your work phone. I believe Brian Higgins couldn't have done this because he snapped his in half and threw it in a military base trash can. But you couldn't fucking record it on a phone. Like, you couldn't do that. People record their cats taking shits on human toilets every day and put it on a very specific website that I like to go laugh at. And you can't take a fucking video of you recording a fucking interview with these people because it'll cost too much money. That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. I liked this guy. Now I'm starting to not like him. Don't blame it all on the select board. But you know what? Let's say we did agree with him. Let's blame it on the select board. Who runs that? Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't hear you. Who the fuck runs that? Oh, that's right. The guy who killed someone drunk driving, Peter Berger, that guy runs that? Oh, well, that sounds like that's a little bit of a conflict. Who was his lawyer again? Oh, Bev's brother, John Prescott Jr. That seems like a bit of a fucking conflict. I couldn't hear you one more time. Who the fuck is on the select board that picks like the budget and what the cops can do? Who was on? Oh, that's right, Chris Albert. Where was the body found? Oh, on his brother's lawn? Conflict. Just saying.
Also giving insight into how the Canton police feel in the town's divisive environment. Officers saying in their own words, quote, "No one in this town will care about us until one of us gets murdered. Even then, half the town will probably celebrate that. And people in town just keep fueling the false rumors, and it's going to get one of us killed.
I think the other issue and concern, which is going to take a lot of work, is
pausing it again. I really liked that. That's a good prediction. The problem is this prediction, much like most psychic predictions, not talking to you, Darlene, you're the real thing. This came a bit too late. It came after the fact. You see, that is exactly what happened. False rumors did get someone killed. Got John O'Keefe killed. Okay? Okay? And all the bullshit and the rumors and the speculation, all the wild shit started in that house. And you guys didn't fucking ask anyone about it. That's a problem.
I think the other issue and concern, which is going to take a lot of work, is building that community trust.
A community meeting is scheduled this Saturday from 2 to 5 at Canton High School to present the audit to the community. In Canton, Tammy Mutasa, WBZ News.
To Karen Reed's trial now.
Present the audit to the community. In a high school gym? Why? So you can throw the chairs further? This is going to be the Source Awards with white people. That's what it's going to be. It's not going to be nearly as fun. There's not going to be any good songs, but chairs are going to fucking fly. Yeah, you would think, but the problem is Bev knew that in the last trial. And guess what she did? She went, don't be silly, you silly gooses. You silly little geese. I'm Beverly fucking Cannoni over. I'm so sorry. I just think it would be so funny if she just Cannoni macaroni. If she just went full Italian on all their asses. She's like, I'm Beverly fucking Cannoni. It's because I fucking said so. You want to go sleep with the fucking fishes? You're going to ask me about where he fucking lives one more time. Don't fucking worry who his fucking brother is. God damn, dude. You know what? I'm going to recuse myself and I'm going to come to your fucking house. And then I'm going to recuse you of your fucking life. That's how Bev thinks. She thinks like a fucking mobster. Sleep tight, Nosy Rosie. I'm sorry for getting you all worked up. But it's true. Hey, maybe we can find out. Maybe we can find out. Maybe we'll bring her on. That's a callback. Some of you might get that. Some of you might not, but I'm telling you, I'm reaching out. Here's the thing. I want to ask her because I really think that company could have provided a good audit. But who's giving them the info? It's coming from the select board. Who's on the select board? I just told you. It's really concerning that Chris has so much power in that fucking town. It's really concerning. Right? And again, and then to have Caitlyn working for the Attorney General, my fucking goodness. The highlights are what we look. Go back and watch the 8-hour, Melissa. That's the highlights. But now, sugar it up. Put a little sugar on top. Put a couple of excuses in there. Blame social media. That's your audit. We could have made $200K. We fucked up. I can't quit you either. Like a gay cowboy, I cannot quit you. Let's get in a tent. That movie was intense. That's a dad joke. You guys love that shit. Okay, let's get on with it. Do you guys want to do a Marcus break? You want to do a little Marcus break? You want to see a little Marcus? Make your kids feel good? Huh? Because we could do a little Marcus. You want to do a little Marcus? Hold on, let me see if I get let me get you guys a little Marcus. Okay, we'll do a little Marcus, then we're gonna go down our list. Okay, got a little list. All right. Well, Marcus has been killing it, and I've been secretly sending you guys links to Marcus. This has nothing to do with the select board or Karen Reed or anything. This is just a little palate cleanser before we get mad again. Why no? I did nail it. Good, excellent. That was an order from the Chief Justice. You know what's really funny about that? Go look at who's on the Supreme Court in Massachusetts. There's a guy named Brennan, and it's not our Hank. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird that there's a Brennan. You like Marcus? You guys want to see some Marcus? He's an abstract earth penis prawn thing. We're gonna watch little Marcus to get us goosed up. Marcus is in a virtual Target right now, and he learned how to fly. So isn't that fun? Let's see what happened to Marcus, and then we'll get to it. Okay? He is a gamer. He is a gamer. He likes to have fun. Here's your boy Marcus. You guys wanted Marcus updates? Here we go.
Can't get down. It's too high.
Marcus, just let go.
I'm scared.
Just let go.
Robert, help.
Okay, this music is not suiting for what's happening right now. This is very out of.
Robert,
what do you want me to do? You're so high up. All right, I have you. Are you okay? Are you okay?
You've saved me again.
Did I?
I owe you my.
Marcus is Satan at the strip club. This is how I picture Hudson at what's it called, Clermont's. This is how Hudson behaves around the strippers.
My life.
Thanks, Marcus. Marcus, look, if corporate finds out that I'm allowing a wow, that was a sick roll actually.
Really good.
If they find out that I'm letting a fugitive in here, they're gonna be mad at me.
Don't worry.
There's stuff we heard. The rumor is that
I have to say, the little frog, the little Pepe Frog guy that Marcus hangs out with, Rebbit, I don't know if you're watching, but Pepe Frog guy reminds me of you. I don't know why. I had to do a double take because I was like, is this Rebbit? Marcus is so dramatic. Marcus is so dramatic.
we heard. The rumors, the COVID-16.
Robert, you
Marcus,
want some wasp?
Bees around it. No, I don't. I don't need wasps. Hold on, I'll be right.
Getting these.
Are you sure?
Where did you get wasps, and why are they circling around you? Aren't they like?
You don't know how much time we took getting these.
I
This
have
took way too much time. Please just take them.
wasps.
What do you mean take them? They're wasps.
Just have them.
I don't want them, Marcus. Look, all right.
They're for you.
It's rude to not accept a gift.
Okay, thanks. All right, I'm surrounded by wasps. All right, I hope I don't get stung.
Very good.
Thanks, Marcus. I really appreciate it.
Good.
I'm glad you like them.
Listen,
Kissy.
oh,
I can't
mwah.
clap.
Thank you very much.
I can't clap.
Real quick, would you give a kissy to Marcus? Well, so Marcus it's the same person, but he just kind of appears in these VR chats. And sometimes he has his frog friend with him. He's just there to fuck shit up. One time he gets stuck in a meat display at a at a butcher, and this lead guy, whoever this guy is, tries to sell him as if he's meat. Find it very funny. Find it very funny.
He conveniently sent his wasp after the only man that sounded African American in the establishment.
Why did you hit him?
Also, the frog is always accusing everyone of being racist. I find it very funny.
Why did you do that?
I'm going back. I'm going back. It sounds like
Conveniently
rabbit.
sent his wasp after the only man that sounded African American in the establishment.
I mean, probably.
Why did you hit him? Why did you do that?
It probably is.
What does it mean?
What does what mean? Okay, I'd probably have to deal with that. You didn't.
Okay, so I think it's supposed to be a Kmart a Walmart or a Target, but on the side of the carts it says Kmart on like the end. This is more confusing than pig. Oh, it's just a degenerate felon running around pretending to be a puce shrimp in a store where this guy. So in VR, you could just work at places. I'm assuming maybe this guy, I don't know if he has a felony and he can't get a job, but he spends a lot of time working at fake establishments in the VR world. like actually doing a pretty good job, customer service, maintaining and whatnot. And Marcus comes to his work and fucks with him. He did smack the frog with a shopping cart. We'll go back. This is a very intense one. A lot goes on.
Sent his wasp after the only man that sounded African American in the establishment.
You know, Marcus could be me for all you know.
Why did you hit him? Why did you do that?
What does it mean?
What does what mean? Okay, I probably have to deal with that.
Do it.
You didn't? Yes, you did. I just saw you do it. No.
No, you didn't.
Okay, Marcus. Whatever you say, Marcus. Marcus, just I look, I don't want to lose my job. Just whatever you need, go get it. All right. And then we'll get you out of here. And then maybe we'll get some dinner later, right? What are you doing? Marcus, what are you doing?
I know, that's why I think it's Rabbit. Very existential, Marcus is.
Is there something on the ceiling? What's he doing? Is he collapsing?
Okay, this is my favorite. Out of all the Marcus videos, this is my favorite. I might play it 2 times and then we'll do the Karen Reed stuff because I just need this today.
Is there something on the ceiling? What's he doing? Is he collapsing?
Look, he's not taking care of him. Take care of him. You're pissing him off.
Get up. Get up. I grab you. Get up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Marcus. I'm sorry.
You're fine, man. All right. I'm gonna go do those interviews now. All right. This guy's gonna take care of everything.
I'm going to fuck you.
Okay. Don't fuck me. Please
Look,
don't
Marcus.
Marcus, fuck me.
We're in a public setting, you know. I don't think we can do that here, Marcus.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude.
Okay, that's good. He understands.
I didn't mean it.
Oh, okay. It's just a joke, or
no, we're going back. When he says, I'm going to fuck you, I laughed so hard. So hard. The first time I saw it, I watched it like 9 times. I cannot stop.
is there something on the ceiling? What's he doing? Is he collapsing?
Look, he's not taking care of him. Take care of him. You're pissing him off.
Amber, you made me fucking choke. Jesus Christ. Amber, too soon. Listen, I'm a stand-up comic. I can never say too soon. It's never too soon. But that is just insane. That is so funny and so fucked up. How dare you? You're grounded, but also, what the fuck? We still have to do the game. We still have to do the game where I'm going to vet the mods. We're playing the game. Which one of you is a sex offender? I fucking know it. All right? We can't risk it. We need to weed out the bad ones. Oh my god, you made me choke. That's so funny. No, I'm no, I vetted Marcus. Don't worry.
Get up. Get up. I grab you. Get up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Marcus. I'm sorry.
You're fine, man. All right. I'm gonna go do those interviews now. All right. This guy's gonna take care of everything.
I'm going to fuck you.
Okay.
I love him.
Don't fuck me. Please
Look,
don't
Marcus,
fuck me.
We're in a public setting, you know. I don't think we can do that here, Marcus.
Marcus.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's good. He understands.
He just put his hand up.
I didn't mean it.
Okay.
And stroke
just
the
a
face.
joke, or?
And stroke the face. I know it's you, Sherlocko. You're Marcus. You're Marcus. And now
Sure.
it's playing us. No. And stroke the. No. We're not getting into that portal again. This has happened before. You know what it does, though? It sends you into the Sally portal if you are talking about something no one else is talking about. That's why it suggests it. That tells us that we're doing something unique. No one else is watching the Karen Reed trial kind of in bursts at the end and then spending most of their time watching Marcus. and fighting with the chat. That is like not something everyone's doing because it's really unsuccessful. This is actually like the opposite of making a murderer. It's like ruining a YouTube channel. That's the show you're on. Don't worry. We're going to have a time. Do pedos who make pictures and distribute online save a stash? Yes. Historically, yes. Because that's why they do it. You know what I mean? And they'll save it for blackmail. Another thing that, especially like when it comes to cyber crimes and distribution and stuff like that, like people who distribute it, they're going to have a bulk stash, but they're not going to save it usually in like a, like they're not going to save it online, if that makes sense. They're going to put it in like a USB or something, like Christian Bruckner or whatever his name is, for who they suspect of Madeleine McCann. That's one of the things that he would do. Some people put it on a hard drive or a server. Stephen Stearns and people like that, you could tell he wasn't distributing because he put it on his fucking Google Drive, which is just insane. And then you have people like in Indiana, everybody around the Richard Allen case, the people that they suspected before him, down to people beyond. Other pedos in the area, they fancy Dropbox. So there's a lot of different ways that they do it, but a lot of the cases that I've looked into, and that, I mean, really just the statistics don't lie. Like they tell you like these people will store things on hard drives and save them for later. And one of the other things that they do is if they want to go on like the dark web, as they say, if they want to go get into chats or like there's red rooms for people who want to watch like snuff shit, which is so fucking fucked and disgusting. I cannot believe they haven't all just been eradicated, but people are perverts out there. There's also like places where just pedos can like chat and share shit. And there's like gore places, and then there's places where they share like cat fancy stuff and tennis. But, you know, there's all kinds of people on the internet, and the groups that do that, the way that they keep functioning, it seems, you know, and don't quote me on this. This is just something that, like, you know, we got a lot of lectures from cybersecurity professionals in one of my classes about like, and really I've like read and watched a lot and talked to a lot of them and worked with some of them that have had to do the situation. It's hard to explain. It's kind of gross, but like you kind of have to infiltrate those places, or you have to identify them. And one of the ways to do that is sometimes they will have to go into them. And one of the things that is hardest about infiltrating those groups is that they want something for you to get in there. And what they want is something that has no hash value, that is not anywhere existing on the internet. They want authentic, made at home, if you will, videos or something that they've never seen before, usually a CSAM substance, something like that. And a lot of the people, like again in the Stephen Stearns case, remember the Santa Clauses that everyone was trying to connect to him. Those two Santa Claus fellas, the dad and the son, one of them worked for DCFS and had a job at Disney, and he adopted one of the kids from DCFS that he used to care for. And the other one, like, he blew his brains out when the FBI was coming to pick him up. And then the other one stayed in. They didn't have co-defendants named. They are no way attached to Stephen Stearns, but there was that guy, David Solomon, trying to mooch off of that and say that there was a ring and that he was a part of it. That was him trying to get Amazon gifts online for him and his wife, who was running a scam with him. So that whole situation with those guys, that's like a perfect case study. And like, this is how they get caught, but also how they attempt to, I guess, enter the distribution game, because they were filming people at home, little kids that came in with his kids, like neighborhood kids. And that content was meant to be distributed because they were contacting other people and offering it out. And then there's entire Telegram fucking groups now, which is all these encrypted apps. That's why they're a hotbed for shit like this, because you can make these encrypted groups and you can share information without needing things like a Tor browser or any other browser, or, you know, having to access the unknown. It's a lot less tech savvy. So now you've got like all that, but simultaneously it is kind of easier to bust, considering like Secret Service and the FBI, like if they can crack it, even the encrypted stuff is saved. Like, I don't care what they say. You can download user data for almost any of them, but you have to do it from your own account. So if they're able to slip into that account or crack it somehow, then you're fucked. So like it's not secure. So they are catching more pedos, I think, because of that. So in a way, it's helping because they're catching more, but it's hurting because it's also creating like a convenient space for these people. So it's kind of like with sex trafficking, how it's like if you push prostitution off the streets, then it's not in the open. It's harder to bust. It's a catch-22. But yeah, they will make them and distribute them and save a stash so that they can use them to trade with others if that's what they're into. And that's just based off of the things that I've studied and seen and that they've taught us. And, we didn't go over it that thoroughly, but, we were taught some of the things about that. And it's really a lot of Department of Homeland Security employees they're working more in that line now. They have entire teams set up to do stuff like that. There's a couple of people who are here in this chat, or at least in this group, that have worked with like the Chris Hansen type people back in the day, like trying to find these people and luring them. And I've talked to you guys, probably, I'm not going to out who they are, but there's a couple of them in here who have done that. And it's really surprising how many of them do actually do that. And they typically do it, if they're doing that sort of thing, like they have the intent to distribute, they're typically doing that specifically to share it. So it also kind of bothers me that like if that market is out there, that might be the thing that inclines someone to do that to someone, that's related to them or close to them. And by not having that market, you kind of drop that element of it. But it's ever expanding because of, these apps that are coming out that are so fucking widely available, free, encrypted as fuck. And every time one comes out that breaks a rule, they got to take it to court and go through all this system. Think of all the kids that get fucked over and all the people who get, victimized because of that, because of the longevity of a court case. Like how long it takes really does affect that sort of stuff. Good question, though. Thank you for asking. Oh, I adore you. Also, it's Jay, guilty of crime. I don't know, dude. I mean, I think she's innocent, but I think that it's fucking Canoni, dude. Who fucking knows? She's fucking Canoni, Jay. She doesn't give a fuck about nothing. You ain't telling that bitch nothing. Which actually is a perfect intro to the first person we're going to talk about today. We're going through our list now. Now that everyone's here, we're going through our list. Let's talk about Jen McCabe. Okay? Yesterday, when we went through all the different wrestlers, some of them were pretty on point, I think. Jen McCabe's might surprise you. If I ever had my own Dark Side of the Ring episode that I made for you kids, this would be it. Because when I talk about Jen McCabe, there is one person in mind in wrestling that it's the perfect metaphor. There's nothing better. There's no better metaphor than the person I've picked, and I stand by that. First, let's learn a little bit about Jen McCabe in case you haven't heard of Jen McCrabb. All right, here she is. Check this out.
And a pivotal afternoon of testimony. WBZ's Christina Rex was in court as a key witness took the stand.
She grabbed my hands and she said, Google hypothermia, Google how long it takes to die in the cold.
The Google search at the center of the defense's case, Jen McCabe says she made after 6 a.m. because Karen Reed told her to. The woman who discovered John O'Keefe's body with Karen told her version of the story Friday, starting with the early morning phone call from Karen.
And she tells me that John didn't come home, they got into a fight, and that she left him at the waterfall.
But that didn't make sense, Jen said. She had seen Karen and John's car outside the 34 Fairview after party. Then on the phone,
she was saying, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? And then she proceeded to say that she had a cracked taillight.
So they went out to search. On the drive, Jen told jurors Karen was hysterical, talking about other women John O'Keefe had dated years prior. As they pulled near the house, Karen screamed, "There he is," and bolted out the car. The three women then discovered O'Keefe's lifeless body on the lawn, covered in snow.
I saw Carrie wiping the snow off of John's face, and I could not believe that that was John laying there.
Still hysterical, the women tried to warm John, performed CPR and called.
Okay, so remember how earlier, and I'm not going to interrupt this a lot because I think it is a pretty good rundown of a bit of Jen. But remember, when I dug his head out, is what Carrie said, wrapped his head with blankets, and he was completely covered in 3 to 4 inches of snow. Okay. So just remember that. Out of all of Jen's testimony, because trying my best to be objective here, but I'm not. Absolutely no emotion from this bitch. I cannot believe it. You're right, Mitty. But to be fair, that is one consistency. And it might be one of the only consistencies between her and Carrie that I seem to be able to find. But they both agree that there was snow on top of them. However, yet took blankets back in the car. However, there are quite a few other things that do not seem to make a lot of sense. So I'm going to go back a little bit. Let's go.
His case, Jen McCabe says she made after 6 a.m. because Karen Reed told her to. The woman who discovered John O'Keefe's body with Karen told her version of the story Friday, starting with the early morning phone call from Karen.
And she tells me that John didn't come home, they got into a fight, and that she left him at the waterfall.
But that didn't make sense, Jen said. She had seen Karen and John's car outside the 34 Fairview after party. Then on the phone,
she was saying, did I hit him? Could I have hit him? And then she proceeded to say that she had a cracked taillight.
So they went out to search. On the drive, Jen told jurors Karen was hysterical, talking about other women John O'Keefe had dated years prior. As they pulled near the house, Karen screamed, "There he is," and bolted out the car. The 3 women then discovered O'Keefe's lifeless body on the lawn, covered in snow.
I saw Carrie wiping the snow off of John's face, and I could not believe that that was John laying there.
Still hysterical, the women tried to warm John, performed CPR, and called 911. Once paramedics arrived, Jen McCabe told jurors Karen's words were clear.
3 times, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
But Karen's attorney says Jen will have a lot to answer for when it's his turn to ask questions, including what time that Google search really happened.
There are more holes in her story than a fishing net.
In a Reed trial, Jen McCabe was back on the stand. She was with Reed the morning John O'Keefe was found dead. And new at 6, the defense peppered McCabe with questions about calls to O'Keefe that were deleted from her phone. As WBZ's Christina Rex shows us, the
Okay, now before we get too deep into this, I am pausing it again because I do have one thing I want to point out. Okay, yeah. So Carrie wiped the snow from his face, and this actually makes sense to me. She runs her. Remember, she's visibly upset. She's the only one who cried. I mean, people. Yeah, she did wipe his face, but here's the thing: he had 3 to 4 inches of snow, right? So Carrie wipes the snow off of his face. Says she'll do compressions. And then that's when Karen kneels down and starts doing mouth to mouth. Even Carrie testified to that. Okay. So while she's doing mouth to mouth, she's leaned down. Carrie's doing compressions. I don't see Carrie looking at her while she does compressions because I've sat there and I've thought about it and I've put, pretend you're Carrie and you're doing compressions. You do them from the side, right? So either way, she would not be making facial contact. Okay. So Karen's the one who has his mouth. She's the one who's breathing in and out, trying to help him breathe. Okay. Now he has been packed in snow. He is ice cold. He's probably starting to feel a little colder to the point where, think about it, it's a blizzard. They could be asking themselves, how long has he been out here? Is he dead? Because you're not going to feel a pulse if it's going super fucking slow because you've been packed in snow. And Karen doesn't dispute that. That's the thing, is I think that Karen is on point with Carrie because, Carrie didn't sit there and wipe all the snow from his face. And Karen's the one doing CPR. She probably did have to wipe snow from his face a little more. And then probably that's when the plucking the glass out or whatever it was she said in the documentary happened. Remember, she said she pulled something, he started bleeding. So that's another thing. So now, and remember, she said the period blood. Well, here's the thing. Like she was in shock. The period blood thing makes total sense to me. It makes total sense. And I'll explain that why. And this is not a stretch. I think that anybody who's been in shock or a medical professional who's had to work with people in shock, I know that I said crazy shit. I'm covered in blood. I don't know where it's coming from at first. I really thought, like, did she get me in the chest, like in my heart? Because I knew she cut my tits a little bit. And I was just like, fuck. Like, I couldn't feel anything. I was completely numb, but I just, my shirt's cut. There's things on me that are cut, like my clothing. So I'm like, fuck, am I dying? Is that what, like, I thought I was a fucking ghost. I screamed crazy shit. I'm not fucking with you when I say I was yelling my address, my phone number, my social security. Like, I was trying to yell at these people who finally came out to help me, who I am. And before that, I was screaming things like free beer. There's a fire. Why are you doing this? I hate you. Like, I told the girl how I felt at one point. I said, I'm going to get your DNA at one point, which was kind of nuts. I said, my roommates. I said, why are you doing it? Like, these people aren't going to answer me. I don't know why I was asking them that. And when the EMTs are there, I'm still saying weird shit. Like, I'm just saying weird shit. I don't know why. And when I look at my statements on the reports, some of them were pretty weird. I mean, honestly, like, they made no sense. And I did at one point say, like, who's bleeding? And I knew it was me. I was just saying that. I don't know why. I was in shock. And I was in shock, in full adrenaline shock for at least 72 hours. I didn't get any sleep. Like, I was just laying there thinking about it. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than that you try to make sense of things that don't make sense. And when you see someone that you love in that violent state, like in the way he was, that's going to make you say things. I know that the little girl that saw me touched my face and said, what was it she said? She said something like, you're covered in blood. You're going to be okay. And I'm just like, you are going to be a serial killer. Don't touch my face. Don't get my blood on you. Like, she was like doing a Marcus to me. You know what I mean? Now, her mom said, it's okay. You can bleed wherever you want. We're in foreclosure. What the fuck? Like, that was hilarious. And the dad is shaking while he's holding my phone, calling the cops and saying he'll call my mom for me. And my mom had apparently, butt dialed. That's another thing that's kind of funny. I butt dialed, but it was in the middle of getting my ass beat, but I butt dialed my mom. Imagine hearing that from your kid. I don't know what she heard to this day. We don't talk about it. But I do know that, like, that whole situation, I said wild shit. And the most important takeaway I want you to have, and the reason I'm telling you this, don't feel bad for me. I'm fine now. It's fucking great. It's fine. Life is fine. I'm very lucky. But the big takeaway is that everybody around me said weird shit. And when I saw them all again, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they burst into tears. I burst into tears. Like, they were very worried and they didn't even know me. Now imagine you know that person and it's a loved one and you're seeing them. I actually had the exact same eye injury he had. The orbital shit. My shit was all shattered. I was wrecked. My eye was dangling in the back of my head. I can imagine seeing that and being fucking traumatized. And they were saying real weird shit to me. Like, it was kind of funny, honestly. One of them asked me, like, did you come here to buy a couch once for a garage sale? I was like, I don't know. Like, you try to kill time, but you also try to make sense. He's like, was this a person that you knew? Like, he's trying to solve the crime, but he's also asking me how he knows me. Like, it was fucking weird. So I think that when it comes to stuff like, why did Carrie say this? Fuck it. Let's even give Jen the benefit of the doubt. Why was Jen cold? I don't know. Maybe that's how she is in trauma. I'm trying to give everyone the benefit of the doubt so we can weed out it doesn't matter who we think is right or wrong. I mean, honestly, ethics and morals don't seem to matter in the justice system. But if we're looking at it from a legal perspective, what is right from wrong, legally speaking? I mean, I think the best way to do that is give everybody the most considerations we absolutely can. So let's pretend that they were all in shock and that this is all normal and they're not trying to frame each other. This all does make sense. I really do think it does. Until we get to the part where Jen starts saying shit that doesn't make sense. And that's going to be the part where she says she didn't delete shit that she did delete. And that she didn't Google things that she did Google. And the part where she doesn't say his name, but she knows him. Those are the parts that I find weird. And I think that is the moment where it begins. That is the very moment where it's like, what you trying to do here, bitch? This doesn't seem right. This does not seem normal. People say, what's normal in trauma? All ranges of behavior. But the lying about it, sneaking up to the house, trampling on the fucking crime scene. Look, some people turn away because they just don't want to see it. They're trying to be the strong one. Let's give her that. Let's give her that. Just for the sake of devil's advocate, just for the sake of trying to prove this point, Let's say everything. Let's say that's just how she responds to shock. Lying to first responders and then lying to the court and then lying to the prosecutors and then lying to everyone in that order, just boom, 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 all the way up to court. That's the part that's not normal. That's the part that's not normal. And then you have the butt dials. And then you have her up all fucking night on the phone with people. And then you have her trampling the crime scene. And then you have her warning the family. And then you have the family not coming outside. At that moment, that's when shit got weird. But the behavior to me that doesn't seem weird at all is Karen's and Carrie's. And I'm sorry, I know some people hate Carrie. I don't care. I don't think she's being weird. I think her and Karen are the only people responding in a way that makes sense. I mean, even Karen being open, going, could I hit him? That actually, yeah, that makes sense to me. It's Jen's insistence that she didn't do something that we can prove she did with digital forensics. That's the moment where it gets fucking weird to me. That's the moment where it's like, oh, you lying now. This is a man's life, and you didn't even say his name, and you're lying on these girls.
Questioning was tense from the start.
You're spinning all of this.
Ma'am, I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't spin. There's a judge here to make sure that I don't spin. I'm asking you a question. It's very direct.
That tense and at times hostile back and forth defined the 4 hours of Jen McCabe's cross-examination Tuesday. McCabe was with Karen Reed when they found John O'Keefe's body. She testified.
Did you see that? I tell you guys about sneaky news all the time, how they do edits that you might not notice. They're subconscious. I'm not talking about sneaking something in that's like a blip, like Fight Club. I'm talking about this. Watch this.
Here to make sure that I don't spin. I'm asking you a question. It's very direct.
That tense and at times hostile back and forth defined the 4 hours of Jen McCabe's cross-examination Tuesday.
Do you see that? One more time.
Defined the 4 hours of Jen McCabe's cross-examination Tuesday.
She gives a look. Did you see that shit? Now, if you go back and watch the original trial, that is not what happened. He was talking to that guy when they were on a break and they were waiting on the judge to come in. She gave that look very early on, and it was like during a nothing moment. It was actually Yannetti said something that made her side-eye. She wasn't side-eyeing at Yannetti. She was side-eyeing at whatever Yannetti just told her. And yet here they go, planting these seeds of, oh, Paul and Karen hate each other. First of all, we already fucking know that. You don't need to do this. But they did it.
I'm asking you a question. It's very, very direct.
That tense and at times hostile back and forth defined the 4 hours of Jen McCabe's cross-examination Tuesday. McCabe was with Karen Reed when they found John O'Keefe's body. She testified that she heard Karen say she hit him. Testimony the defense says has changed over the years. Instead, lawyer Alan Jackson painted Jen as the orchestrator of the narrative told by her family and friends.
Have you spoken to them about these events between then and now?
About this case? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, Ms. McCabe.
Miss McCabe, you're not the one asking questions. That's one of the things I hate. She asks too many questions. Your job is to answer the questions, ma'am. Answer the questions.
I'm asking about this case.
Of course, I speak to them all the time about the vicious harassment we are all receiving.
Karen Reed's team accused McCabe of an off-the-books meeting with a Canton cop in the days after John's death And the jury heard for the first time allegations that Jen deleted at least 6 calls she made to John O'Keefe between 12:29 and 12:50 that night.
I believe I used the word butt dials.
I believe I used the word butt dials. Bitch, you don't have an ass.
You claimed that every one of these calls was a butt dial.
I'm sorry, that was mean. But like if Poop Patrol's allowed to talk about her ass, then I get to talk about Jen's. And Jen, I just don't see you butt dialing, hun. You're all bone, no meat, Jen.
Jen deleted at least 6 calls she made to John O'Keefe between 12:29 and 12:50 that night.
I believe I used the word butt dials.
You claimed that every one of these calls was a butt dial. Is that right?
Yes.
Defense lawyers believe those deleted calls could provide reasonable doubt for the jury.
Butt dialing is becoming a thing with the Albert clan. Like, how bizarre is that?
And so you say John was in the house, his phone's missing, she's calling him to find his phone.
That's certainly a reasonable interpretation.
Jennifer McCabe was back on the stand this morning for 10 questioning about Google searches.
Okay, another favorite moment in news history. 2 of them. 1, that question. You guys can hate on Christina Rex all you want, but I'll tell you this much. That was a good question. That was a good question. Ask the lead lawyer, okay, what are you trying to say here? What's your theory? Thank you, Christina Rex. I like you for that. In case you guys forgot, that was the first time on record outside of court where he made that insinuation. And you can't tell me that it didn't get people thinking. I mean, I get it. People hate her. I get it. I know, AJ. I know that you guys hate, but I'm telling you, sometimes when you're a news anchor and you're not allowed to give your opinion, you get pushed into that hate column because you're not giving your opinion. Who bothers me is the editors, because they're the ones doing the cutaways. And I do wonder if that makes her look bad. In fact, I don't wonder. I think it makes her look bad. She has given her opinion in a like she slipped it in there, like not even gonna say subconsciously. Like she's made faces. She's asked some questions that were not very nice. But to be fair, oops, hold on. Let me hit play because he's home. I gotta let him in. Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Is that she made and what time she made them on the day Boston police officer John O'Keefe's body was found in the snow. This morning, Karen Reed's lawyers questioned McCabe about the now infamous misspelled Google search she made, "Hus long to die in cold." She says Reed told her to make those Google searches.
And she was screaming, Google hypothermia, how long does it take to die in the cold? And I picked up my phone and I started Googling.
In court today, the defense pointed to cell phone data showing the first time McCabe made that
Okay,
search.
wait. I want to clarify. Sherlock Ho is referring to Jen and not Christina Rex. I thought we were talking about Christina Rex because some people do hate her. Oh, the Mookies. He's flying. You guys can't see it, but he's flying through the air. What a good boy. Did they pick you up? He's licking your eye, hun. You're just licking his butt. Hey, where'd you get shit on? You got shit on again by a bird? On your shoulder? Did you clean it off? Or is he putting his paw on it? No, he's not. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, I think you would walk around with shit. All right. So here's what I like here. I'm going to go back a little bit. Watch this guy. This is the guy who controls all of our thoughts. This is called the editor. He's a production guy. Watch him turn around when she starts talking. I just love this so much.
This morning for tense questioning.
What'd she say? Are we on the air right now? Like, I just love that.
Like, how bizarre is that?
And so you say John was in the house, his phone's missing, she's calling him to find his phone.
That's certainly a reasonable interpretation.
Jennifer McCabe was back on the stand this morning for tense questioning about Google searches that she made.
Did you hear that? She said Jen McCabe, and then he turned around and he looked. Is this the guy? Is this... Oh, Mookie's. He's barking a lot. Is this the guy? Is this the guy? He's the... I mean, she said Jen McCabe. He turns around. Why? Why, sir? Why?
Jennifer McCabe was back on the
stand this morning for tense questioning about Google searches that she made and what time she made them on the day Boston police officer John O'Keefe's body was found in the snow. This morning, Karen Reed's lawyers questioned McCabe about the now infamous misspelled Google search she made, "Hus long to die in cold." She says Reed told her to make those Google searches.
And she was screaming, Google hypothermia, how long does it take to die in the cold? And I picked up my phone and I started Googling.
In court today, the defense pointed to cell phone data showing the first time McCabe made that search was at 2:20.
See, that bothers me too, because it's like, well, you still didn't Google what she said, you fucking bitch. Like, she told you to Google hypothermia and you Googled that. That's not hypothermia.
27 in the morning, hours before John O'Keefe's body was discovered. Defense attorney Alan Jackson says the timing of the search exonerates Karen Reed and implicates McCabe in O'Keefe's death.
Ms. McCabe, you made that search at 2:27 a.m. because you knew that John O'Keefe was outside in your sister's lawn dying in the cold, didn't you?
Absolutely not. I did not make that search at that time. No.
Did you delete that search because you knew that you would be implicated in John O'Keefe's death if that search was found on your phone?
I did not delete that search. I never made that search at 2:23. I never would have left John O'Keefe out in the cold to die because he was my friend that I loved.
In court filings, the prosecution has said the defense is misinterpreting that cell phone data. Reed's lawyers are trying to convince the jury that McCabe is part of a scheme to frame Reed for O'Keefe's death. Reed is accused of hitting O'Keefe, her boyfriend, with her SUV and leaving him to die in the snow in January 2022.
All right, there you go. So let's take a look now. Let me pull myself up here. Okay, now we're going to take a look at Jen's conflicts of interest, because that's what this is all about, you guys. We're here to talk conflicts of interest. And I want to pull up now. Yesterday, the last person I believe we talked about was Caitlin Albert. And who was the wrestler? We decided on AJ Lee. Why? Because she's crazy as fuck. She is totally willing to marry anyone, as you could see by Tristan, her fiance. And she just like follows the storyline perfectly. She goes corporate. She starts working for, one could say the raw authorities, and then one could also say the Attorney General's office of Massachusetts. I think that that's absolutely reasonable. But when looking at Jen McCabe, I told you guys this the other day, but I'm going to say it again. So many conflicts of interest. Out of everybody, she probably has the most. Definitely has the most. Her and Poopa Tractor. Most conflicts of interest out of everyone. I mean, Brian and Albert and Chris Albert have they have direct conflicts of interest with the judge because of who Chris's lawyer was when he killed the man drunk driving. So with Jen, what do we got? Let me pull down this comment. I apologize. She's a witness for the Commonwealth. Just a couple of things to keep in mind with her. She trampled over the crime scene to enter the home and tell her sister, wake up the Alberts, who never went outside. I find it to be an issue, if not a conflict, that it is her family in the house. She's testifying for the family, but she also had the opportunity no one else had to trample over the crime scene. There is a blizzard. There's one camera pointing. It is the shittiest camera on earth, it seems. And she has every opportunity to make up whatever the fuck she wants. She could also, when the EMTs get there, pre-plant things. And by that, I don't mean evidence. I mean thoughts. She could have easily wandered off with any of those EMTs and been like, listen, this is what happened. And they want you to believe that none of these first responders know them, but they do. And we proved that with Caitlin and Katie McLaughlin. So, you've got family who knows these first responders. In fact, one of those first responders even was talking to Karen and said something about how, how's Carrie doing? He was making small talk about how he knew Carrie. And she's like, if you really knew, he liked her. And she's like, if you really knew her, you wouldn't say that. Like that whole thing. I mean, these people know each other. She's also pals with Michael Lank. She goes and has a meeting with him, an off-the-books meeting. Nothing's recorded here. Remember that? Michael Lank, one of the lead investigators. Elizabeth Proctor, and by the way, there's also a connection to Birchmore there. Like, from this point on, everyone we mention has a connection to the Birchmore case. Because now there's that conflict. Why is that a conflict? Because cops are in prison or in jail awaiting trial right now for molesting a little girl in an Explorer program. Not just one, but 3 of them. And then all these folks were about to add on to the conflict of interest list, covered it up. I believe that once you've done something so egregious as an EMT, a law enforcement officer, first responder, anybody with a duty of care, at that point, everything you have to say becomes moot. If you can't uphold basic fucking rules like don't fuck the kids, then anything you say cannot be trusted. To me, it is a conflict of interest that she fucking knows all these people and knows the power that they have and is having these off the books meetings with them. It is very, very concerning. She's basically, I mean, in a way, she's that chick from Hunger Games who does all the announcements. It's fucking nuts. She is also homies with Elizabeth Proctor. She met with the wife of the lead investigator. We go to their pool. They're going to babysit for me. What? Remember Chris Albert going to the wedding? Those are the Proctors. So now the Alberts and the McCabes are homies with the Proctors. One of them offering to buy the other's wife a gift. Oh, I'll buy you a gift when this is all done. Oh, I'll just send it to my wife, Elizabeth. She's a sister-in-law of the homeowners, of the people who are the alternate suspects. In the words of the defense, there were 3, but remember, Bevel only allowed 2 because poor baby Colin, he couldn't have done it. He was busy fighting people in a bathroom in a high school. Like, Jesus Christ. He was busy kicking a rat around a fucking empty house, whatever it is him and his family do there. These people are fucking horrifying. Keeping my opinion out of it, though, for real, do you not think that's a conflict of interest? To have the person who is there, it's their lawn, and people are asking you what happened. You're the first person, and it's your sister. Stop taking her statement at this point and get it recorded. Like, what are we doing here? She testified that Karen said, I hit him, as opposed to, did I hit him? And not only that, at first, she didn't say shit about that. She didn't say that until way later. After she'd met with all these people. This is concerning. One of the reasons that they pull families apart to interview them separately is so that they can't concoct a story and go, all right, we're going to go that way. She not only concocted, she had time to, Auntie JJ got donuts. She had time to plan it. She had time to call people. I'll meet at your house. It's fine. She Googled how long to die in the snow at 2:27, which is a proven lie. Now, that wouldn't be in here, except that she lied. She lied. And the conflict here is that she's got a husband who works in tech. Okay? And this is a problem. And another problem is that her friends and family know the guy who was extracting all of the technical data for that call. He's also the guy who overlooked Sandra Birchmore getting molested and murdered. Talk about Guarino. This is a problem. These are a lot of conflicts for one woman. She stated at the beginning she was friends with Reed and called John frequently before his death, but then deleted those calls, and all of a sudden she barely knows her. That's kind of weird. She maintains all of her personal relationships that are conflicts are either kid-centric or innocent meetings due to harassment over trial. So all she has to do to be nicked off the list of conflict of interest is to just make up some good bullshit. Why were you meeting with these people? What's interesting is she says, for the kids were with me. Oh, her daughter was with us. I couldn't have been scheming. Bitch, Do you know how many times my aunt and my mom and my grandma schemed and plotted on things? Even though we were in the room, no one gives a fuck. I scheme and plot with Dylan right here. No one gives a fuck. Don't act like you can't scheme and plot because your kids are there. I guarantee you most of her scheming and plotting probably happens fucking at the gym or watching a basketball game. Get out of here, bitch. So there's a lot of conflicts. That's not even all of them. Your kids force you to cover up crimes all day long. Exactly. Don't tell me that you... Hell, her kids did do some crimes, didn't they? Didn't they kick a rabbit around a house? Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't even understand this, because a few minutes before that, this person who she barely knows, who now she thinks is a killer, she's dragging her outside. Come on, Karen, come with me at the waterfall. It makes no sense. I'm just saying she seemed to know so much more after giving her initial statement, but then to not record it and then to be able to go back and edit it by going, oh, I said this on the stand. A guy in the snow. There's a man passed out in the snow. Not Officer John O'Keefe is laying dead in the snow. Hurry, send someone quick. He's one of your own. For fuck's sake. We know she can be dramatic. She got dramatic on her stand because a couple people called her family at home and someone yelled at her with a megaphone at a softball game or so, a lacrosse game. That sent her into a fucking spiral of frenzy. But an officer bleeding out on your fucking lawn that knows your whole family, that's not okay. Okay, whatever. And that's why the wrestler, she gets Moolah. She's the Fabulous Moolah. Because she's mean as hell. You can't tell her ass shit. And she runs this whorehouse. Okay? Who is the Fabulous Moolah, you say? She was the longest women's title holder of all time. She's one of the first big female wrestlers. Like, big. She wasn't the first, but she was one of the biggest. Because she'd sell her soul to fucking anyone. She'd betray anybody. She didn't give a shit. In fact, not only did she betray everyone, she betrayed every female wrestler that wanted to enter her space, her domain. She was very, very gatekeeperish of the women's division. She had to win. She had to keep the longest title. She is gnarly, dude. She is gnarly. Slipped on my beams. She is gnarly. And here's the thing that she used to do. She used to take the female wrestlers and she'd be really nice to them at first. She'd be like, oh my God, honey. Oh my God. You really got something. You want to come live on my farm? Oh my God. You want to come live on my farm? I could train you up to wrestle. I'm the longest women's title holder. And here's the thing. Vince loved her. Everybody loved her. Vince's dad loved her. Why? Because she'd bring in the women. I got this new prospect. And they'd usually job them out if they could. But then when people were saying, Moolah, we got to get someone to fight you for your title, a very threatening competitor came along. And this one, I mean, she was old as fuck when this happened. So she kept it for a long time. A couple of competitors came along. They were amazing. They were beautiful. They were young. They were better at fucking wrestling than her. She was terrified because she knew she couldn't just swindle the higher ups with whores anymore. Some of them were gay. They weren't falling for it. Pat Patterson. But here's the thing about her. Here's how she ran her business. She wanted to stay women's champion. So she would take in the younger girls and she'd say, come live on my farm. And she became a madam. She whored them out. She made it a literal whorehouse. And I'm sorry if that sounds rude, but that's what she called it. She would charge people to not just wrestle the girls, but to do other things with them. She'd get them addicted to drugs. And then she'd ditch them, leave them out to pasture. Or she'd get them built up to be really good competitors. And she'd have one good match with them. And then at the end, when they thought they were going to win, she'd fucking break their arm. And then tell them, you're no good to me anymore. If you were a cow, I'd take you out and shoot you. She was cruel. She was so mean to people. And then when asked what happened to this wrestler, she'd make up some shit, just lie about it, blame everything on them. That's why I think she's Jen McCabe. And who's Karen? Karen's Rockin' Robin, sister of Jake the Snake Roberts, one of the best. During the Wendy Richter era, she came around and the men were threatened by her. So the men hated her. They're like, she's too pretty. She's taking up our time. Because she was like the first women's wrestler to really get not just title, but like attention, you know? Her and Wendy Richter, this was like the Cyndi Lauper era. Like it was a big deal. This was Captain Lou Albano era. This is when like you know, Mr. T got involved in shit. A lot of fucking eyes on them. Hulk was coming around and people liked her. She got a better title than Moolah. But the problem is Moolah was still out to get her because she's like, even though I'm old as shit and I look like a bale of hay, I got no more women to pimp at the farm. My years are numbered. I need to make some money. I'm still pretty pissed about losing my title. So she went behind everyone's back. She decided to blame some shit on Rockin' Robin that was not her fault. Now that story could take a whole day. We're not going to get into that, but I'll tell you this much. She ended up going behind the scenes and starting a lot of trouble, putting words in a lot of people's mouths, a lot of people's ears, the higher ups, including Vince. People who had control. Fabulous Freebirds, all these people. And she started making Rockin' Robin out to be a little shit, a little baby. And she made a backyard deal with Vince and a couple other people. And she said, listen, I want to wrestle Rockin' Robin. And I want to take her title, but I don't want her to know it's me. And Fabulous Moolah put on a Green Man outfit. You know what I'm talking about? Like head to toe. And she had a lucha hat. So she comes out, you can't see any of her body. She's literally dressed like that. And then she has a lucha mask on. I think she even had a little cape. And she comes out and Rockin' Robin knew right away, this is fucking Fabulous Moolah. She's fucking back because she's old and she's all fucking weird looking. She's like, God damn it. Even in the Green Man outfit, she looks fucking crazy. And Rockin' Robin thought she was going to win that day. And she gets told right before, nope, you're going to get rolled up by the Masked Avenger, whatever the fuck they called her. So Fabulous Moolah rolls her up, takes the title, takes her Green Man outfit off. Oh my God, it's fucking this old bitch no one cares about. And that was the death of women's wrestling until the divas came around and started showing their tits. So thank you, Jen McCabe, for fucking everything up for everyone. You fucking madam. How dare you? Stop that screen. Do you think Fabulous Moolah... Well, here's a funny thing. They tried to give what was the award they tried to give her? Was it Hall of Fame? Or was it? No, it was the Mae Young Classic, right? Weren't they going to make a classic for her or something? I think, okay, so Fabulous Moolah was supposed to get something. It was. They were going to put her in the Hall of Fame. And they did a Mae Young Classic, and they were talking about doing a Fabulous Moolah. They were going to call it like the Fabulous Classic or the Moolah Classic or something. They ended up scrapping all of it because, you know, even though she had books out about her life, like all wrestling fans saw past it. They're like, she was an evil cunt who ran a whorehouse and beat the shit out of those women in real life and trafficked them. Like, how dare you? So we were done. We said, fuck that. Everybody rose up and said, fuck you. We don't want Moolah. She was already dead. Everyone's like, no, don't honor her. Don't remember her. And WWE went, whoops, our bad. And they stopped. But she was an evil bitch. She was very underhanded. She could change somehow the point of view of all of wrestling and the fans at the time by just sneaking around and slowly talking to everybody individually. It was very psychotic behavior. She was very jealous. So with that said, I mean, that's Jen. It's Jen, 100%. We're going to do one more person, and then we're going to wrap up, and then we're going to have part 3 tomorrow. Okay? But this person, again, Sandra Birchmore investigation. Remember that? If you don't, I'm going to play you a little bit of stuff about it. Because this next conflict has to do with, again, I told you, if there's another case that someone does some really skeevy shit on, you can't trust them in future cases. Just like the DNA lab in Massachusetts that, you know, there was this one lady doing DNA and she's like, I was on drugs and I was stealing drugs the whole time and just fucking opioided out. And they went, what? She's like, yeah, I fucked up a lot. And they went, oh my God, go to prison now. But also all the cases this lab tech did, we got to pull back. Well, what were they? Like a lot, like over 1,000. And it kind of fucked up y'all who live there. It kind of fucked up your... I mean, I was reading about this a few times last week, and I was like, God damn, this was really... I went down the rabbit hole, and again, it had a lot to do with Morrissey and the governor. But yeah, it fucked up your entire... You had a blockage. You couldn't shit out the cases. The poop was impacted. There were too many cases going on. And then you had COVID. Jesus Christ. Too many cases. Like if the average courtroom can handle 350 cases a day, if it had 250, 350 a day, you guys would have had 2,000 to have to catch up. It's like us with the DNA labs, with the rape kits. But y'all's were all cases because this one bitch decided to pop some pills a few times at work. So imagine the mess it's going to cause when an investigator gets fired for doing some fuck shit, Proctor. And all the people that we're going to be talking about at the end of this and in part 3, kind of the situation they're in now. And why? Because, well, in a way, you know how I said Shanann Gilbert, she kicked off them finding the bodies for the Gone Girls documentary. If you guys watch that for the Long Island serial killer case, which is why we're here, why I even have a channel. That situation, like if they hadn't looked for Shannon, they wouldn't have found those girls. They just wouldn't have. If they did, it would have been maybe not all at once. Maybe it could have taken another 10 years. Who knows? In this case, if it weren't for Karen Reed, a lot of the stuff that has been found out about Birchmore might not have been found out. Like, and vice versa. Like, these cases in a way are very symbiotic. Wasn't she smoking meth she stole from the lab in her car on her break? Yeah, I think so. And she was doing pills. She was on all kinds of drugs. I felt kind of bad for her watching some of her later interviews because she was like, I was real messed up. Like, she straight up was like, yeah, I had a very bad drug problem, but she did the honest thing and like was openly like, this is the shit I probably fucked that up. Like, it makes no difference. It doesn't help, but it's like, yikes. To be a DNA lab tech at a lab that big that handled so many cases, that's terrifying, you know? Especially if you're in prison because of something she did. Yikes. So yeah, they had to do that. There were also, you know, it's funny, you say that they were all on drugs. Like there were 4 or 5 lab techs over the years. So it could have been the first, second, third, or fourth. All right. So this is what the Birchmore investigation was. In case you missed it, let's go into this. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Krista Dilkamp.
And I'm Rachel Keller. Hope you enjoyed the Patriots game. We will head back out live to MetLife Stadium in just a few minutes.
So first, a story 25 Investigates has been working on for weeks. It involves the Sandra Birchmore murder investigation. So let's get right to it.
I'm investigative reporter Ted Daniel. Former Stoughton police officer Matthew Farwell remains in federal custody, charged with killing Sandra Birchmore. State police initially ruled her death a suicide. 25 Investigates is looking back and at a different cop Birchmore knew named Joshua Heel. We have a recording that was never supposed to be made public.
And how she was failed by, manipulated by, and used by people of authority.
When Stoughton police revealed that 3 of their officers had troubling relationships with Sandra Birchmore, the name of an Abington cop also surfaced. Josh Heel previously worked for Stoughton's Animal Control.
The deputy told me that Heel and the deceased woman were friends and that they had texted quite frequently. I believe it was daily. There was a lot of digital information. He said he was hoping that Josh would help him connect the dots.
Can you guys just identify yourselves for the recording?
25 Investigates has obtained a recording of then Abington Police Chief David Del Papa in a formal interview with the town attorney. Del Papa says he was told in December 2021 that Josh Heel was a witness in Stoughton's probe. Here he describes getting new information 3 months later.
Birchmore was known to several members of the department as having mental health issues. Sandra had disclosed details about her relationships with other members of the department to Josh in explicit detail.
And according to Del Papa, Heel also had a sexual encounter with Birchmore.
The deputy chief had disclosed to me that he had received oral sex from a woman, and I basically told him that it happened off duty and extramarital affairs on any of my business.
And this is a guy who was working at schools at the time.
That's right. Josh Heel was an Abington school resource officer and police comfort dog handler. Kirk Minahan reported extensively on Birchmore and Heel in season 2 of his podcast called The Case.
It seems to me, minute 1, you find out, you put this guy on leave until you figure your stuff out. And if he's exonerated, fine, back to work. But of course, he wasn't exonerated.
Heel continued to work in the schools for another 6 months until the day after Del Papa learned that Heel's name had been mistakenly left unredacted in a report that was going to be shared with the media.
They wanted to give us a heads up. because it was going to be a disaster. So I got off the phone. I called Josh in and told him, you're on admin leave. At that point, I still didn't know the full breadth of Stoughton's investigation as far as one of the officers having relations with this woman when she was underage and the grooming and all that.
We asked Abington Town Manager Scott Lambiase if Heel should have been taken out of the schools sooner, based on what Del Papa did know.
You know, as a police officer and a member of the union.
Quit bragging that you're in a union, sir. Also, this is so sad because I really like that guy's last name and he's such a piece of shit. Del Papa. That's a fun name. Del Pupa? Del Pupa Tracta.
Civil service, there's steps that you have to go through before you can actually put somebody on administrative leave or begin an investigation. But I believe that once we actually knew the full depth and confirmation on what had actually happened, we acted pretty quickly.
Heel remained on paid leave until he resigned in early 2023. In a statement, Heel's attorney tells 25 Investigates Heel is a material witness.
I mean, his name is Heel, for fuck's sake.
And Mr. Heel has not been ever, and is not going to be the target of any criminal charges in the future because he has not broken any laws. Del Papa stepped down in May 2024 in what the town describes as a mutual separation. Abington hired an outside investigator that concluded Del Papa was professional and diligent in his handling of Heel. Del Papa tells us what happened to Birchmore is an absolute tragedy. He says, given the very limited information, my response was appropriate to what I knew at the time. Kirk Minahan sees it differently.
The buck was passed a lot of times. I think Del Papa should own up for his failures in this entire situation.
Hold on a second. Wait, is this Kirk Minahan from Barstool Sports? What the fuck? Hold on a second. What? Wait. I gotta go back to right here. It is. What the fuck?
I basically told him that it happened off duty and extramarital affairs on any of my business.
And this is a guy who was working at schools at the time.
That's right. Josh Heel was an Abington school resource officer and police comfort dog handler. Kirk Minahan reported extensively on Birchmore and Heel.
Kirk reported on Birchmore? Kirk from... What was that Barstool Sports shit we watched? That show? Oh, shit, I can hear that. Barstool Survivor Barstool? That evil, mean Kirk? Oh my God. I like Kirk now. What the fuck? I was so wrong on that. I was into the Big Cat guy. I said, Big Cat, I like him. He's the one. And it turns out the one I hated. It turns out the one I hated. Oh, that's crazy.
In season 2 of his podcast called The Case.
It seems to me, minute one, you find out, you put this guy on leave until you figure your stuff out. And if he's exonerated, fine, back to work. But of course, he wasn't exonerated.
Heel continued to work in the schools for another 6 months until the day after Del Papa learned that Heel's name had been mistakenly left unredacted in a report that was going to be shared with the media.
They wanted to give us a heads up because it was going to be a disaster. So I got off the phone. I called Josh in and told him, you're on admin leave. At that point, I still didn't know the full breadth of Stoughton's investigation.
Hold up. Funny you should say that. I was thinking about that the other day. And it's interesting, right? It's interesting. That one I wanted to confirm. Is it confirmed? Because being related to the judge could be a problem.
Was one of the officers having relations with this woman when she was underage and the grooming and all that.
We asked Abington Town Manager Scott Lambiase if Heel should have been taken out of the schools sooner, based on what Del Papa did know.
You know, as a police officer.
You know, it would, John, but I was looking for confirmation. Do you have confirmation? because my Ancestry account ran out. So I was trying to find other ways actually about 4 days ago to confirm some of that shit. Can you shoot me an email, dude, at Oblivious Benson question@gmail.com? Because I will blast that shit if you have confirmation. I don't like to blast that shit without confirmation, but that is definitely a conflict. So if I could get some conflict confirmation, some conflictimation, I would appreciate it. You need help? I'll help you. We'll do it together. I'll relaunch the account. Where's Tombstone? She's really good at that too. Because I'm still looking at some others. I tell you, the Weeks family tree is not weak. It is strong, and there are many, and it scares the shit out of me. But yeah, very, very interested in working with you on that, because I'd like to know too, sir. I would like to know too, John Courtney. I would like to know. Does anyone ever call you JC? Listen, JC. Yeah, I have questions too. Let's figure out the answers. Let's figure out the answers there, because I couldn't get away from that either. But also, there's a lot of Prescotts. That's the problem with Texas and Massachusetts and Texas. Everyone has the same fucking last name, you guys.
Officer and a member of a union, civil service. There's steps that you have to go through before you can actually put somebody on administrative leave or begin an investigation. But I believe that once we actually knew the full depth and confirmation on what had actually happened, we acted pretty quickly.
Heel remained on paid leave until he resigned in early 2023. In a statement, Heel's attorney tells 25 Investigates Heel is a material witness, and Mr. Heel has not now, has not been ever, and is not going to be the target of any criminal charges in the future because he has not broken any laws. Del Papa stepped down in May 2024 in what the town describes as a mutual separation. Abington hired an outside investigator that concluded Del Papa was professional and diligent in his handling of Heel. Del Papa tells us what happened to Birchmore is an absolute tragedy. He says, given the very limited information, my response was appropriate to what I knew at the time. Kirk Minahan sees it differently.
The buck was passed a lot of times. I think Del Papa should own up for his failures in this entire situation.
Days before Del Papa placed Heel on leave, he learned that Heel had texted, quote, graphic and filthy things with Birchmore while on duty. Del Papa also became aware that Heel created an unauthorized Instagram account named after his police comfort dog. Heel no longer works as a police.
Yo, what, dude? After his comfort dog? That's where I gave pause the first time. That's not a dad joke. I mean that. Like, what, dude? You know, if they are related, I mean, I'm going to have to send John up there to siphon that right over to Yanetti's secretary, or I could do that for you, sir. This is very interesting information that I really thought I was out there on a limb with that one, and it's nice to have somebody do some confirmation. I know you haven't confirmed it, but like, it's, what do you call it? You know, it's nice when other people see things, because then it's like, maybe I'm not fucking crazy, you know, or maybe I am, but I'm still a little right. I don't know. Maybe I'm on the right track. I don't know if they do anything, because at this point, Bev's like, oh, that's my personal ball licker. Never mind them. They're allowed in. Never mind them. Yeah, he named his fucking Instagram after his comfort dog. I wonder if it was for the dog and they're leaving that out, which is another whoa news, but that guy is a prick, so fuck him. But at the same time, damn news. Damn.
Police officer. For 20.
Okay.
25 Investigates, I'm Ted Daniel.
All right.
Good afternoon.
Okay. And now we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the next person. I'm going to pop myself up here. Let me pop myself up here real quick. Okay. So why did we bring that up? Because now we're about to start getting into the investigators. And one of the investigators that, since we're going in order, remember we started at the governor. We're going down. All right. On this episode, we're doing the same. And on the next one, when we get into Brennan, I'm saving Brennan for the finale, because he's my favorite. Because he's the one that I know the most about. He's a piece of shit, but he's my favorite piece of shit out of all of them. He's the most intriguing, and he's the one with the most to lose, and he's the one that does the most fuck shit. So that's going to be fun picking his ass apart. But right now, we're going to look at a man named Kevin Albert, okay? Because we are going in a bit of an order, and we're starting with the governor and working our way through the family. And Kevin Albert, while he did not work directly on Karen Reed's investigation, he is important here. Why is he important? Why are we bringing him up? Because he is the conflict. He is the conflict. And why? Why is he the conflict? Well, he's the brother of the homeowner, Brian Albert. He's also the brother of Chris Albert, select board member, and the judge's brother's client. So you're going to see some overlap here, because anyone who is brothers with Chris, what? You got murked? Video game stuff. Anybody who is brothers with Chris, okay, and is in law enforcement specifically, which is an extra layer to that onion, they have access to things other people don't have access to. They know people who are involved in the case. Kevin definitely knows Proctor. Didn't they fucking work together? Weren't they buddies? Right? That's a problem. That's a conflict. The lead investigator on the case is homies with the brother of the homeowner? Or his brothers? His brother is the homeowner and he's homies with that guy? That's a conflict. But also, Chris Albert runs the select board, and the select board gets to decide what Kevin Albert gets. That's a conflict for the town. It's a conflict for the audit. And that's a conflict for the case. He's also one of the officers who botched the Sandra Birchmore investigation. Again, big problem. Big problem. Because that is a murder and a pedo case. He's got ties to other Karen Reed investigators. Proctor, Tully, Guarino, Link, Fanning, just to name a few. Again, this is one of those where I could have put more brackets, but you get the idea. He spoke directly to the chief who found Karen's taillight on the lawn weeks later. And not just that, taillight parts were found on 3 separate occasions. Regardless of how you feel about that, that is a bad investigation. If you're finding them that long after the fact, that's a problem. It also leaves so much reasonable doubt, because there's no fence around that property. Anybody could have done that. And then when you consider that the chief who died very soon after, who could have testified, but they said he couldn't because he was sick. Fair enough. He did die, so he seemed sick, right? But this guy, who is fragile and weak, in the words of McSweeney, this elderly man who is driving by the crime scene, while in motion in his vehicle, can spot these tiny taillight parts. Yet everybody else at that party who drove by couldn't spot John O'Keefe. And what I find is funny is when they saw the taillight parts, it was in the grass, right? So the snow is melted. So there's more color around. There's greens. There's probably some dead grass, some brown. Then you've got the pavement. And then you've got all the shit around it. You know, any rock, stones. Like it's going to, and these are little bitty taillight pieces. So that's interesting because you have a blanket of white, lily white snow, whiter than all the McIrishes in Irishtown in Boston. You got this white snow, and then you have a guy in dark clothing who is over 6 feet tall laying dead on top of it. And no one saw that, but you saw these little fragments. Oddly enough, they also seem to find this mystery broken glass that is clear in the snow, but they missed the red taillight fragments. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, if they broke at the same time, that's the theory, right? How do you find the clear pieces and not the bright red ones next to them? Just a thought. Just a thought. Makes no fucking sense. So who's Kevin? He's Brian Pillman. He's Brian Pillman Sr. Why? Because this guy's fucking off his fucking rocker. All right? He's waving a gun around. He's screaming at people. He's getting fucked up at work, drinking and driving. He's cutting promos about shit he doesn't know nothing about. He's homies with everyone, yet for some reason claims he can't catch a fucking break. He's always getting in fucking trouble. He's surrounded by a whole bunch of fucking weirdos that are just encouraging this behavior and provoking it even. He's unhinged. Remember when Brian Pillman pulled out the gun on Stone Cold? And everybody went, whoa, dude, chill. I mean, that whole storyline he wasn't even involved in. He inserted himself in. It's fucking crazy. Brian Pillman is out of his fucking mind. He's out of his fucking mind. He does have a very glistening chest, doesn't he? And that was before he became the cool Brian Pillman, right? There he is talking to Joey Styles. Joey Styles would probably be like, probably Chief, what's his name? Berkowitz. It's just interesting to me how this guy's so fucking unhinged and they finally pop him. Because why? Because he had he was driving his service vehicle drunk. And then didn't he have his service weapon there? Or he had it with him in the bar? It was something insane. He's Brian Pillman. He's 100%. Yeah, they missed the bright red taillight pieces in the snow, by the way. So bright red on white. That's my point. It's way easier. A big fucking hunk of an adult human who's dead on white, and they're wearing dark clothing. Much easier to spot than microscopic pieces on a lawn from afar while you're driving and you're old. I'm just saying. It's very interesting. The order they found it too. How it just happened to be found in an order where each specific little chunk of taillight could be assigned to a different individual, couldn't it? Yeah, they didn't see pieces on their own lawn? I thought he was a surveillance expert. Exactly. What kind? I wonder if it was from that clear glass. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. And now we move on. This is going to be our last one for tonight. Lieutenant Michael J. Link. Now I could go on and on about this guy. He has the second most amount of complaints in his department's history. Did you know that? I mean, he has so many goddamn complaints. It is crazy. Okay? He had a supplemental narrative right here when he's talking about the Sandra Birchmore investigation. Also, there's a firefighter Whitley, but I read it as Whitey the first time. I found that funny. Officer Lank was a friend of Higgins. In fact, Higgins told Jen, you should call Lank back and tell him what you heard Karen say, because apparently Jen talked to Higgins. We know that now, because that was part of her testimony. So she had already had time to talk to Higgins, so that's concerning. And he said, you should call back your buddy Lank. Tell him what Karen said. Tell him what you say you heard, because all of a sudden she remembers that she hears this much later. I hit him. So Brian Higgins like, I'll put you in touch. And this is after she already spoke to the cops and had meetings with various others directly involved in the case. Okay, and this is a guy who failed to secure the crime scene again. And I don't care if it's the second or third time they're visiting, you secure it. Okay? She's speaking to cops. She's having meetings with various others directly involved in the case. And one of them is Michael Link. That's a problem. He's also the guy, correct me if I'm wrong, responsible for the blood in the Solo cups. Excuse me? He didn't look around the entire house at all. Okay, he did not separate or interview the witnesses. When he did finally interview them, he didn't separate them. And then I don't believe he even recorded it. He spoke privately with Jen McCabe at his house because he's her friend, was the quote. The witness is friends with the Canton police, with a Canton police detective or Canton Police Department sergeant. That is a problem. And with Tim Albert when they were kids. And he was friends with Tim Albert. And he was besties with fucking Chris. He was close to both of them since they were children. He was close to them. And he's working on this. He has known Chris and Tim since they were little kids. In fact, he helped Chris by fighting with him in a bar fight, drunk, in 2002. They beat up some guys called the Lipolato brothers, the Lippolito brothers, Lipolato. Again. Oh, Mookie, shit. He farted. Oh. No, dude. No, he farted. Oh, God, he gassed me, dude. He gassed me bad. Mookies. Ugh. Dude, do you smell it over there? No. I'm going to puke. He got you? Dude, he got me bad. Ugh. Fuck, dude. It's so bad. It's so bad, babe. Don't stand over here. It smells like egg. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. I have to puke. Please forgive me. Okay. So, back to Michael Lake. I don't know where I am. I blacked out. Okay. He's a friend of Brian Higgins and a friend of Jen McCabe. Higgins told Jen to call Link back. Obviously, that's what he did. He failed to secure the crime scene, separate, interview the witnesses, didn't look around while in the house. He put the blood in the red Solo cups. We already went over that. He spoke privately with Jen McCabe at his house because he's her friend. He's friends with Chris and Tim when they were kids. He helped Chris by fighting with him in a bar drunk in 2002. They beat up the Lopalato brothers, and they both lied about it to get these dudes screwed over. That was a whole fucked up situation. I can't even get into it, but it was crazy. The fact that he would show up, pull up, and just start wailing on people and then try to arrest them, he's nuts. Okay, that he could be another Brian Pillman. He's responsible for botching the Birchmore investigation. He put the wrong date on the report. He covered up for a pedophile. I mean, he's not a good guy. He's not a good guy, you guys. He's a bad boy. So, what do we do when we have this much conflict? Because he's besties with the brother of the guy whose body, the body's on his lawn, and he's besties with that guy and his brother and their other brother, Timberly, whatever you want to call him. Since they're little bitty kids to the point where he'll beat the shit out of someone while on duty. He has so many fucking complaints. He's botched a major investigation dealing with murder and pedophilia. And yet they say, hey, let's put him on this one. Let's put him on this contentious one so that there's no conflict of interest, even though he's besties with this entire fucking family. And even though he knows Jen McCabe very, very well, so much so that they're friends and they go to each other's house. This is a problem. You're a grown ass. Your mother, cut your hair, get a haircut, right? So what do you do? In case you were wondering, here's a little more proof. Okay, here's something. I'm not gonna say proof. Here's what I'm gonna say. This is somebody from Reddit who, and I told you guys how I was able to go back and verify some people, make sure they're not bullshit. I stand behind this person. They posted about Link because they've known Link and the Alberts, I guess, since they were little. And when going back and looking at their history, I found that, yeah, they're pretty. I mean, these people are out here commenting on various things and saving various things that are from around town. You just know. So once you see enough to back up what they're saying, it's like, okay, I trust them. Now, this is someone's opinion. I'm tossing this in here because it was interesting, but it gives you a little bit of background that I frankly believe, because I've seen other opinions that are similar that came out before that, but that I heard them directly from people. So when I saw this post, I went, oh, wow, this kind of backs this up. Now, those other people didn't put it in public. So, I mean, unless they had their own separate coup to all say the same thing to a stranger they hadn't met yet at the same time, I believe them. I consider that good backup. So this is someone from the class of 1990 in Canton, Massachusetts, talking about, now they said Chise or Cheese Albert, but I think they mean Chris, and Mike Lake. Anyone else here from Canton? I moved out to Canton in the 90s, so I'm a little bit out of the loop. Not far, just to Staunton. Interesting. I'm in Connecticut now. My friend told me to watch the trial because they weren't covering it down here yet. God rest John O'Keefe. So what is most shocking to me is that Lenka, which, by the way, is something other people have called him, a.k.a. Mike Lank, is a ranking law enforcement officer. More than him and his buddies framing an innocent person to protect themselves. He's a meathead, but a connected meathead. He wasn't funny, but he got the funniest in our yearbook, also confirmed. I took classes with both Mike Lank and Chris Albert, Canton High School class of 1990. I moved to Canton at the very end of 5th grade from South Boston. One of the bars involved in the night of the murder of John O'Keefe used to be called Centerfields. Also confirmed that. C.F. McCarthy's was Pete's Place. Also confirmed that. Owned by another Canton guy same age. One of my dearest friends, who I really need to get in touch with, class of 1988, I hope they did, used to hang out with Nicole Albert, who back then was Nicole Weeks. They all used to bar hop at all those same places back in the early 90s or earlier. I had friends on Fairview and Walnut and lived on Mechanic. Okay, you're giving too much away. I grew up in that exact area, so I really know these people and places very well. I even lived in Dedham near the courthouse for a while at one point. In the 1980s, Nicole and some of her friends and family were friends with my friend's older sister and her friends with each other, friends with the Alberts, the Proctors. Their moms cut each other's hair and serve each other food, teach and raise each other's kids. The dentists and doctors and town hall and cop shop, on and on and on and on. I just didn't realize the entitlement went this deep. Every single one of those people have been thick as thieves and family for half a century at least. Entitled, spoiled hotheads, most of them. Mike Lank was a kiss ass to his friends and a bully to everyone else. They all go way back, the men and the women, all of them, grandfathered in family and friendships with their kids. What a huge douchebag bubble it is. I mean, even Miss Hoslong to Die has resting douchebag bubble. Okay, Kelly, you're funny. Her name's Kelly, by the way. That's all I'll say. I would love to see a graphic of the personal family relationships. It would rest the case immediately. I call Southie my hometown, but I grew up in Canton. I think I was 9 or 10 when we moved to Mechanic Street from the city. She goes on and on. I lived right on Bolivar Pond. I had a big yard with a little beach in the area. You could swim in Bolivar, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was there. The Alberts, all their friends, the Proctors, Lenka, Rod, Matthews. I was friends with Sean Willette. Sean was murdered by another classmate, Rod Matthews, in 86. Also confirmed this. Rod was obnoxious, kept bugging me, my best friend, to go out with him because the cutest thing you ever saw. She actually gave in and went out with Rod one time. Sean was so cool, and we bonded over our wicked cool Zeppelin patches and our wicked cool denim jackets. We were also the new kids in town, but I could relate to what was going on through that. Plus, he was just very cool and nice. I saw a photo online last night of Mike Lank hugging Sean's mom in his graveyard at the memorial service for Sean. He was in his CPD gear. I cannot tell you how upset it made me. Lank wasn't Sean's friend. He was Rod's. Maybe he was required to attend, but maybe he went for the photo op. Maybe. The family may have connections there. I thought he might have gone to Blue Hills like a lot of other kids my grade. Chris was always forgettable. He looks different now. Looks like he grew up to be a weird thumb. No question they'd set any one of us up for murder just to keep up appearances. Someone will step up and the truth will come out. When they are in jail and unable to intimidate the town, someone will come forward. I have this terrible feeling that some awful person, like a McCabe, may have even videotaped John's murder. If so, it will surface. That part I went, whoa. Dumb jock bullies, name-dropping goons with badges in lieu of brains. Any one of them would push me off a cliff without hesitation for calling them out like this. They probably felt untouchable for a long time. Safety in numbers. I don't think you can throw a rock in Canton without hitting a corrupt Albert family connection. I mean, if you want to know why I picked that to share with you, I just thought it was interesting. Which makes me think that Lank, some of you are going to hate this, and I'm sorry. Because I love Eddie Guerrero. I love him. But he lies and he cheats and he steals. He's a heel. So is Chris. Chris is a heel too. But Chris, we already assigned him a wrestler. So right now he could be Philin. He could be Chavo. But I truly think Lank is an Eddie. He'll do anything. Why? Because his bonds to Chavo run deep. And no, they're not real cousins, but they're going to say it because kayfabe. Absolute kayfabe. You can never break it. Now, Jen would break it. Jen would break it in a heartbeat. These two boys, they're going to protect each other. He's going to show up. He's going to fight the Lapolito brothers or whatever their name is with him, and he's going to fucking not ask questions. He'll betray Ray, but he will never betray Eddie or Chavo. Vice versa. They'll never betray each other. They'll betray the fuck out of Ray. Okay? Hell, they'll even betray Benoit, but they're not going to betray each other. They stuck together no matter what. And that's why Michael Lank As much as I hate to say it, he's Eddie. We lie, we cheat, we steal. He's Latino heat. He doesn't look Latino heat, but he's Latino heat. I promise you that. Okay. I think that's good for tonight. We've left off at a good spot. I wish I could have gone in more on that one a little bit with the Eddie Guerrero stuff, but it's fine. It will end up being another 30 minutes. Now, here's the thing. Tomorrow night or day, I don't know when we're going to do it, soon, we're going to get into some real serious shit, okay? We're going to be talking about Michael Proctor. We're going to be talking about Tully. We're going to be talking about Guarino. We're going to be talking about Fanning, okay? Because it's a lot. It's a lot there. It's a lot to say. It's a lot to say about them. But here's what I'm going to have to do. Before we do that, I'm going to have to show you a little bit of why I love Marcus, okay? Because we haven't done enough Marcus, okay? So that's what we're going to end on. We're going to end on Marcus today. We're probably going to do more Marcus tomorrow, okay? I really love Marcus. I think he's great. I think he's really great. I've got a little bit more to show you from him. Give me 1 second while I pull it up. Until I pull it up, actually, let's put this on because we've got old OG Marcus for you. We could pull up. Or we could, you know what? Let's cleanse you guys. Let's cleanse you guys before we go. We're going to cleanse you all. Okay, you're the dog.
It's time to remove my chihuahua's demon. This time is going to work.
Juan Calamera, azúcar, Juan Calamera, azúcar, Hanta Tiki tracatú. A la víbora de la mar, por aquí pueden pasar. Los de adelante corren mucho y los de atrás se quedarán.
Hoy, mi amor, hasta el perro no te quiere.
Ya está hecho el hechizo. Ahora sí. ¡Újule! Listo.
Ahorita va a volar.
El perro se asustó. Para que vean. Ya está, mija, el hechizo hecho para todos los que no me quieren.
Holy shit. What the fuck are you doing here?
Hello.
Hey. How have you been, Marcus?
I hope I'm not intruding.
No, not at all.
No, it's fine, Marcus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say anything or?
You gotta watch out, Robert.
Okay, why is that, Marcus?
This place is a dangerous place.
Aren't you a wanted felon?
I don't like this one.
What? Wait, why not?
What's wrong? What's wrong with him?
A lot, but why not?
Are you going in the Don't do that! He's killing himself. He does this sometimes.
No.
Okay.
The pain.
I'm trying to. You have your arms. Can't you fucking...
I'm in agony. Robert Malecki.
Rob, I don't know. Marcus, come here, please.
Marcus, why'd you jump in the fire?
Ah, you're so cute. Oh.
You saved my life.
Yeah, I did. Oh.
Listen here, Robert. I know you might be skeptical. This one's a keeper.
You just told me that I should avoid him.
That's a good one.
Okay, but do I keep him or do I not? He's not even gonna fucking say anything. He's just gonna walk away. Why is he running?
He has his people to go to, I guess.
Does he fly?
Bye, Marcus.